Hello, everybody that's tuning in on YouTube. It's so good to have you here with me today. We've already started our debates with Trump supporters for the day. In fact, we already have our first guest named Matthew up on the live. And Matthew has been so dense and so terrible that I wanted to start my stream on YouTube so it could be recorded in permanent history. So Matthew has come up here and he shared his claim that he does not believe that undocumented migrants in the labor force in America have the same legal protections as American workers. So I just want you all to see the MAGA madness about how they contort reality to fit their narrative to no end because they're cult members. So Matthew,
all right,
you're
when
wrong.
you're done talking, maybe you'll let someone else talk.
Matthew, of course, I'll let you talk. So,
okay, can I talk now then?
No,
should I talk now, or you're just spinning a false narrative about me?
I'd appreciate it if you could wait.
See, you won't let me talk.
Because I was already talking. You're right.
This is the left.
This is the left. The left that doesn't enjoy being interrupted. So anyways, Matthew, go ahead and unmute yourself, but I'm going to continue to speak here. So you told us...
muting me again. He's muting me, guys.
Because you interrupted me,
He's
Matthew.
muting me. They control. They put swastikas on Teslas. That's what they do.
I disagree with vandalizing property. So do you mind if I finish real quick?
Well, no, you just made a whole point about me negatively, and you put me in a negative light, and then you're not even letting me speak right now.
Well, because I'm still speaking, and I'm gonna give you an opportunity to speak as much as you want.
No. You're gonna talk for 5 minutes, and then you're gonna mute me like you've been doing.
Matthew, here's my claim.
You are wrong. You've been muting me, Dean. Dean, you've been muting me this whole time.
The reason I've muted you is because you're interrupting me.
No, the reason you're muting me is because when I'm making my point, you shut me down. And that's what you guys are known for, shutting down your opposition by any means necessary.
You're trying to make your points in the middle of my sentences, Matthew.
Incorrect. You just gave a whole introduction to me being crazy, MAGA, illegal immigration. You made your point, but you won't let me make mine.
Matthew, you just said I was wrong. I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm just going to rewind it so you could hear yourself interrupt me while I was in the middle of my sentence. Is that fair?
In the middle of your sentence, you did my whole introduction.
Do you want to hear yourself interrupt me?
You were speaking negatively the whole time.
Okay, so you admit that you interrupted me.
I may have interrupted the rhetoric that you're putting out about me personally and the MAGA supporters.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and just make my claim here. I'd appreciate if you want to interrupt me to try to silence me.
I thought you already made it.
No, I didn't. So here's my point. You made the claim.
Or you want to reiterate it again?
I do. You made
so you could start fresh.
You made the claim
that sound collected.
Matthew,
but you're not.
Why are you silencing me? This is what MAGA does, is you try to silence
No, I was
liberals
literally
just,
I'm talking. I thought we're having a conversation.
Okay, Matthew, I'm going to make it clear now that if you continue to go down this path, I'm going to mute you. So just stop and wait for me to finish. You made the claim that undocumented migrants do not have the same legal protections as American workers in the labor force because they do not have a legal status of residency in America. Okay?
No, because they're illegal. That's not the claim that I made. Incorrect.
Okay, when you say because they're illegal, it's saying that they don't have a legal status of residency in America.
Nope, because they're here unlawfully.
Which means they don't have a legal status of residency in America.
No, that's what you say it means. That's not what I'm saying it means. Sorry.
Not being in America lawfully implies that you don't have a legal status of residency. Am I wrong?
No, it means you broke the law. So yes, you are wrong, actually.
Okay, this guy's not coherent. Okay, fine. You take that W. I'm going to go ahead and finish what I'm saying. So my claim is that you're wrong because we have a federal law, which is titled the National Labor Relations Act, the NLRA, which protects labor rights for all workers in America, including those of undocumented migrants. This is public law number 74-198, and you could even read about it on the National Labor Relations Boards.gov website, nlrb.gov, and I'm actually taking a quote from their website right now, quote unquote, regardless of immigration status, you have the same rights under the National Labor Relations Act.
Are you waiting for me to reply? Are you done? I don't know. I'm trying to wait for you to finish speaking.
I just proved your claim wrong.
No, I would disagree.
Okay, why?
Well, like I said before, once you set foot in here illegally, you're breaking the law at that very moment. Mm-hmm. So,
okay.
Although you may have a right to work under that federal law and receive the same benefits as
Thanks for the concession, citizen. Matthew.
Wait, well, let me finish, bud. Let me finish.
Okay, I'll let you finish, but you just conceded.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish, though.
That's fair.
you shouldn't be here in the first place.
Okay.
So legally, if you shouldn't be here in the first place, you technically shouldn't have a right to even be working here if you shouldn't even be here. Correct?
Oh, okay. So your argument isn't that they don't have that right. Your argument is that they shouldn't have that right.
My argument is, not that they shouldn't have that right, that they're encumbering that right, or they're embracing that right, but they're doing it illegally because they shouldn't be here. That's my argument.
Okay. Well, it seems like we finally got a concession for Matthew. So when Matthew first came up, Matthew argued.
Well, it's not a concession.
Matthew, this is why
I wouldn't consider it a concession.
Matthew, I'm going to mute you again. Naughty boy. Good boy. All right. So we have gotten a concession from Matthew. When Matthew first came on the live, Matthew argued that undocumented workers do not have rights and protections in the American labor force. Of course, I've now successfully rebutted and disproved that claim by referencing the NLRA, Public Law 78-194. But now Matthew has shifted the goalpost away from arguing that they don't have those legal protections to the idea that they shouldn't have those legal protections. Okay, and this is an entirely new position, but let's get into it. I disagree with you because I place America first. Undocumented migrants that work in America really help the American economy, really help GDP growth, really help government revenue, really help you, me, and the average quality of life for everyone in America. They pay $100 billion in taxes per year, and migrants as a whole are projected to add $1.7 trillion to the GDP in the next 10 years. And if we were to offer them a pathway to residency or citizenship, they'd only add more to the GDP and pay more in taxes, as they'd get paid higher wages, as they'd have more bargaining power in the labor force.
Okay, so can I speak now about the immigration law?
I appreciate you for asking for permission to speak, as I'm the figure of authority and intellectual wisdom here.
Well, I'm being polite.
Yes.
I'm being polite. So, federal law, 8 U.S. Code 1324A says you can't hire undocumented workers, and it's outlined in that law. Yeah, look it up, because you don't know what you're talking about. I'm the authority, and Trump's your dad.
Okay, so U.S. Code 8, U.S. Code 13... Wait, you just said that Trump's my daddy?
1324A.
Wait, you said that Trump's my daddy?
Trump's your daddy now.
So does that mean that he's your daddy too?
He's my president.
Oh, so why is he my daddy but he's not your daddy?
Because you guys hate him, and look how freaking angry you're getting.
Oh, so he's only your daddy if you don't like him?
Knowingly hiring.
Wait. So let me ask you a question.
Illegal to hire, recruit, or refer employment of
let
an alien knowing they're unauthorized to work in the U.S.
Let me ask you
8 USC 1324A.
Okay.
Federal law. Okay.
So
what happened, bud?
So I'm just reading this. I just want you to know that you're wrong.
Will you concede?
No, the
Will
reason I'm unwilling to concede is if you literally just read it. This is about bringing in undocumented migrants into America. I mean, literally
bringing.
So
now you want to now you want to you want to play. Are you a lawyer?
Well, Cornell Law School is. I'm reading.
Not.
I'm reading off of.
Sorry, bud. You're wrong. I'm right. You lost.
Will you read that text?
I have it right here in front of me, just like you.
I know.
You're not intelligent. Anyone can Google, sir.
Would you read that
or
top
ma'am,
line?
whatever you want to be called. Anyone can Google, sir.
Hey, Matthew,
maybe it's ma'am.
Would you just read that top line real quick?
Put that on YouTube.
What does that say? What does that top line say?
Put it on YouTube.
Would you just read that top line?
You're not a lawyer. You can't.
I'm not a lawyer, but these guys are.
Bud. You can't break down what that top line means. For you to interpret that top line means you would need to be a lawyer. You would need to take it in front of a judge.
I'm just gonna go ahead and read this off. So it's 8 U.S. Code 1324, titled "Bringing in and Harboring Certain Aliens." Section A is any person who knowingly, that is a person is an alien, brings in or attempts to bring into the United States in any manner whatsoever. So all that 8 U.S. Code Section 1324A is saying is that if you help an undocumented migrant come into America, you've broken the law. I'm pretty sure that we all already knew this. And your argument that this is saying that...
Incorrect. Within the writing of the...
So I literally just wrote it. I literally just
within the writing of 8 U.S.
But I'd like to clarify here.
It doesn't say bringing in.
Yes, it does. I'm reading it. Any person
Yeah.
who knowingly brings in or attempts to bring into the United States in any manner whatsoever. That is,
Well, sorry. Under here it says knowingly hires. The section of U.S.
That's not.
Code details specific prohibitions. Knowingly hiring.
Why are you
is
lying?
illegal. I'm right here. I have it right in front of me, just like you,
Wait,
bud.
no, read Matthew. Let's see if we could get the camera to focus because this is unreal. I'm so. This
You
is
can't
insane.
concede. You're so prideful and arrogant. You can't concede to
'cause
anything. That's why it's not even worth talking to the left, dude.
Dude, okay, you could see this on your screen, right?
Dean, you cannot. I'm looking at the law right here.
Okay, we're gonna read it. Oh, it focused. Any person who wait. First, let's go up to the top. Matthew.
No. Don't read the title because you're conflating the title with what the actual
we're
law
gonna
says,
read
dude.
both, Matthew. We're gonna read both.
You're so you.
No,
cannot
just listen.
concede.
We're gonna read both.
That's the problem with your
Listen,
party. You
Matthew.
can't concede.
Matthew, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna mute you if you don't let me
That's
speak.
not polite. Why are you cussing at me?
U.S. Code 1324, bringing in and harboring aliens. This is Section A. This is a section that you are
That's the
referencing.
title of it.
No. This is Section A. Criminal penalties. 1, subsection A. Any person who, knowing that a person is an alien, brings in or attempts to bring
Correct.
into the United States. You just said hires or attempts to hire. You lied and changed the language
It's right
of the legislation.
Here. I'm reading Section A, knowingly hiring. It is
Am I
illegal
getting rage
to
baited?
hire.
Am I getting rage baited?
Not at all. What are you talking about, dude? You're a fool. You sound like a fool.
Oh my God. Matthew, you're rage baiting me. Like you're a troll, right?
Not at all.
I just showed the text on the screen. You're blatantly lying.
I'm reading it right here, bud.
Chat. What do I do in this situation? What he's gaslighting me. You're I'm getting gaslit.
You're just showing your immaturity right now.
What is going on?
You're showing your immaturity right now.
Can you turn on your camera and show us what you're reading?
I prefer not to.
You know that you're lying to me, and you're still trying to keep the lie up even after I show you the text on screen of the law that you're referencing. And now you're telling me that you prefer not to show us what you're reading.
I will to satisfy you. I prefer not to, though.
So do it.
Here we go. It's because I don't want to show I don't want to turn my camera on for you. It's going to be a problem. Hold on a second. Let me get this.
Dude,
Well, I was relaxing. I mean, now you got me up here freaking doing extra for you. Like, I got to teach you today.
Matthew, are you like a real person?
As real as they come.
Chelsea, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. Thank you so much, Chelsea. Yo, Matthew, could I get a W Chelsea from you real quick for the $10 on Venmo?
That's such a...
Yo, could you say W Chelsea real quick?
Entity, continuing employment. Yeah, I'm on your Cornell law.
Can I get a W? Can I just real quick get a W Chelsea from you?
No.
No, why not? But she donated me $10.
It's not relevant to me, dude.
It is. Say thank you.
Here it is right here. It doesn't say bringing in right here. And I'm under the Cornell law right here as well.
We're gonna get Matt up here. Hopefully. We'll see. I asked him if he'd like to come up. Matt is a scholar.
I'm up.
We'll have Matt. We'll have Matt help out. Emma, thank you so much for the $1 on Venmo. I do really appreciate you so much for the love.
Can you see me there, Dean?
Oh, yeah, I could see you. We were actually just looking at different things. I thought that you were unironically gaslighting me.
Not at all. I'm serious. 8 Code 1324A, unlawful employment of aliens. In general, it says unlawful person or other entity. And it says A, to hire, recruit, or refer for a fee for employment in the United States. An alien, knowing the alien is an unauthorized alien, is defined in subsection H3 with respect to such employment. So if we go down to H3, I'm not sure how to read law, but it's obviously clearly stating that it's illegal to employ illegal aliens. And I'm not saying that to be rude to you. I'm trying to be respectful.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that I know that this law exists. So I'm under the understanding that it's unconstitutional to deny like an employee, like certain like labor protections and rights. So that's why we have the NLRA that would protect said labor protections for all employees, including undocumented migrants. However, I do also know that it is the case that you don't have to ask for any sense of immigration status when you do hire somebody. And I'm pretty sure that is kind of like the workaround for undocumented workers in the workforce. But I am like surprised that you're able to find that. Like, I don't know. I looked for that. But anyways, like, I do think that undocumented migrants should be offered a pathway to residency or citizenship in America. The reason why I think that is because it only helps America. And we're supposed to implement law that is good for America. And that would be a law that is.
All right. Well, you know what?
Claire, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Could you
I'm gonna
just
get
refresh
going.
your page real quick?
Me?
Yeah, sure.
Why?
Because I don't know. A lot of people in the comment section just think that that's like inspect element, and it's not. It's not a real
No,
thing.
I just refreshed it twice for you.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, I saw the
Now,
refresh.
with that being said, Dean, I don't have no hate towards you personally, right? I don't have any hate towards illegal people or aliens, right? I just genuinely believe that we should put Americans first, and that's the only reason why I'm here talking to you.
Well,
I think that you're a very intelligent young man.
If we
I
should
think that,
put Americans first, obviously you'd agree with mass amnesty.
well, may I finish?
Sure.
I think you're very intelligent. I think that you technically do this for a living, so you could probably run circles around myself and anyone else who's going to come up here and talk to you, right? But at the end of the day, we're all Americans. I hope well for everyone within our country, right? But at some point, we just have to stop letting illegals in and see if that can make a change for people. Because I know now you're young. You guys are never going to be able to buy a house unless you're fucking millionaires, right?
So Kamala Harris had housing affordability policy. Did Trump?
No, but I'm not talking policies. I'm talking the reality that I'm living in, and there's no hate. I'm going to get going, and I appreciate you giving me the time and the platform on your platform to have a conversation with you, even though we disagree.
Well, I mean, if you want to get going, that's fine. I do have a question for you if you want to stick around for one more.
No, I don't have time to be arguing with you. That's not who I am as a person. That's not what I want to do with you. Have a good one, bro.
Have a good one. Well, we're going to move on to the next guest. For everybody in here, for the 8,000 people, I'd really appreciate it if each and every single one of you guys would start double tapping away on that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 1 million likes here today. We have an army of people in here, so if you guys all started double tapping, that'd be super cool. Astounding. Thank you for the $5 over on YouTube Super Chat. That's awesome. My lady and I love our daily dose of Dean. What's going on? Good to have you in here. If you're MAGA, go ahead and spam MAGA down below in that TikTok comment section. We'll get you up here for a debate, y'all. Everybody just go ahead and give us one moment. Everyone just go ahead and give us one moment to get that next guest up here. I'm really only polling from the chat today. The only reason I'm only pulling from the chat is because yesterday the queue was terrible. So the only way you're going to get up here is if you like drop a MAGA in the chat. We see that Tea Time is spamming MAGA in the chat. Let's try to get him loaded up into the live. And awesome. We did. Phenomenal. What a significantly better way to get debates going. What's up, Tea Time? Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome. How old are you, man?
18.
18. Okay. Fine. All right, sweet. Go ahead and tell us why you support Trump.
Because we need a truthful president to lead our country.
Okay. Well, he is probably the most dishonest president we've ever had in all of modern American history. I rarely make claims in retrospect of the entirety of American history, but this is one of the situations where I do. There's never been a more dishonest president than Donald J. Trump. During his first administration, he lied over 30,000 times, but that's not the predominant reason why I make this claim. The predominant reason why I make this claim is because he's been lying about the outcome of the 2020 election for the last 4 years.
Okay.
Okay, well, I proved you wrong, right?
I mean, he doesn't lie about being he doesn't lie about vapes being anxiety pens. So
It's an anxiety pen. I'm not lying. Stick on topic. Dispute
nah,
my
it's a
claim.
puff bar. It's a puff bar.
Okay, so
It's a
are you
vape.
just not going to respond to what I said about Trump?
I mean, you say it's anxiety pen, but
Because it
you
is an
vape
anxiety pen.
It's a vape.
Dude, get your conspiratorial nonsense gibberish out of here. I think it's absolutely grotesque that you would ever even assume that I'd do something such as that. It's a gateway. Too many other bad things to do that, and I would
If
never.
it's in-
But stop deviating off topic. Stick on topic. You said that you voted for Trump as he's the most truthful president we've ever had, and I proved that wrong. Stop talking about my lavender and chamomile. It's an aromatherapy pen for anxiety.
Can we get into forehead reveal? Can we get a forehead reveal?
I've only had a hairstyle with hair in front of my head for like the last
Nah,
3
let's
to
get a
4
hairline
weeks.
reveal, bro.
You could go watch a video of me with 15 million views on YouTube and get a hairline reveal.
Nah, just do it right now. Do it right now.
Okay, I don't care.
Damn.
You're looking at a perfectly average forehead.
Damn.
You're literally looking at a perfectly fucking average forehead.
Nah, that shit ain't straight at all. That shit ain't straight at all. That shit hurt.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and tell it. That one's weird. I actually have a perfectly average forehead. Looks pretty normal to me.
Nah, bro, the vape's doing that too.
Okay. So you told me that you voted for Trump because you think that he's the most dishonest president ever, and I proved you wrong. Do you have a counter argument?
I mean, he doesn't lie about anxiety pens. So
Sir, how many continents are there?
there's enough not to lie about anxiety pens.
Sir, if you don't know how many continents there are, why should I leave you on my live for any longer?
Because Donald Trump doesn't vape and you do.
Okay. I've already told you that I don't do that nonsense, and it's a gateway. You're obviously
But we
not-
all saw you. Though.
You're,
We all
you're
saw
obviously
you vape.
tea time. You're obviously not here for a real discussion.
We all saw you
right?
vape, bro. We all saw you vape.
It's a goddamn anxiety pin.
We all saw the clip.
It's
bro.
an aromatherapy pin. It's lavender and chamomile. I would never smoke the nicotine.
bro.
It's a gateway. It's a gateway. Stop accusing me of that.
We saw you, bro.
We're going to go ahead and move on to our next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. If you voted for Trump, go ahead and spam MAGA down below in that chat. They have no respect for me. He's no respect for me. It's a aromatherapy pin. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest. If you're MAGA, just go ahead and let me know in the comment section. All right, we're going to go ahead and get coffee time up in the live. Everyone just give us a minute. Everyone just give us a minute. Heidi, thank you for the $10 donation over on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. 100 W Heidi's down below in that chat. Also, Claire with a 5, and then MC with his $16.66. Thank you so much for the love, Claire. And then Kennedy with another $50 on Venmo. Let's get 500 more W Kennedys while we are getting the next guest up in the box, everybody. Let's get more W Kennedys while we're getting the next guest up for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Kennedy. I love you. Also, Winnie with a 10. Thank you so much for the love, Wendy. What's up, R? Did you vote for Trump?
So I just moved to the US, so I haven't really voted yet.
Okay. All right. Well, I do appreciate you for coming up. We are just looking for people that did vote for Trump. Guys, if you're watching, go ahead and spam MAGA down below in that chat if you want to come up and debate. It is proven to be very difficult to get anybody up in the live to have a conversation with us. I'd also like to make it known that if you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal in the link tree in the bio or in the pinned message over on YouTube. What is up? What is up, Ava? You spam MAGA in the chat. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did vote for Trump.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 21.
What year were you born in?
Fuck you, stupid ass bitch, sucking on that vape like there's no tomorrow, you fucking dirty ass hoe.
Okay. Well, somebody was very upset there. All right. We're going to go to move on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. All right. Well, it doesn't look like anybody's really spamming MAGA in that chat that wants to come up here and debate. So we're going to go ahead and just take a peek at that queue right now. Everybody just give us a minute. We are being targeted and attacked today, chat. Like, I don't, like there must, like this is the Republican deep state. They've launched a smear campaign against me. These are all of their sleeper agents that they've woken up with their secret keyword to come up here and antagonize me while I'm just simply advocating for the betterment of society, you guys. Like, this is yet another reason why you shouldn't support Donald Trump, okay? They sent all their sleeper agents after me. We're going to go to get our next guest up in here right now. You guys, if you are in that queue, make sure that you voted for Trump. And also, if you are in that queue, go ahead and spam MAGA in that chat so we could get you up here for a conversation. Everyone just give us a minute. We got Steven loading in as we speak. What is up, Steven? Did you vote for Trump?
Hi, please don't kick me off. I did not vote for Trump. I just have a question about something.
No, we're only looking to debate Trump supporters. I do appreciate you for your time. Feel free to ask your question in my Discord. Either I can answer it or some of the other really cool people in there. All right, moving on to the next guest. We got Blake loading up in. Here we go, everyone. And then Vada, thank you for the $5 over on YouTube Super Chat. I do really appreciate that. What is up, Blake? How old are you?
19.
19. What year were you born in?
2005.
2005. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
All right. Why do you support Trump, sir?
I'm just kidding. I'm fine.
What a weird troll. Okay. All right. Everyone, just go ahead and give us a minute, you guys. We're going to go to get that next guest up in the box. All right. If you're in the live and you vote for Trump, go ahead and spam MAGA down below in that chat. We got Adam loaded up into the box. What is up, Adam? Did you vote for Trump?
What's up, brother? Yes, sir.
How old are you?
18,
18. What year were you born in?
2006.
2006. Okay. Sam, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, saying thank you for all that you do. Sam, I really appreciate you for the $10 donation. Yo, Adam, can I get a W Sam from you real quick?
No, sir.
Aw. Okay. Why'd you vote for Trump?
Because Guatemalan stole my job.
So somebody from Guatemala stole your job?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and that made you vote for Trump. Why? Were you just like, somebody from Guatemala was more qualified than I am, therefore I need to be xenophobic now?
Fucking get the fucking aliens out of our country, brother.
Okay. Hey, I have a question. Do you place America first? He's straight up left. Okay. 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 He just left. I didn't even kick him. Hey, I'm going to make this clear. So we just got a flag on the live. If you're watching and this live gets taken down, what I want every single one of you guys to do is to go over to my YouTube account, which you could find through the link tree in my bio. I'm live over there with 1.4 thousand people. And the moment this live gets taken down, head over there and, we'll be talking about where we go next, because the potentiality of the live getting taken down after we get one flag like that is pretty high. So we're going to move on to our next guest, everyone. Go ahead and just give us a minute. If you're in that queue, make sure you voted for Trump. If you do want to come up and debate, go ahead and spam MAGA in that chat. And Mallory, thank you so much for the 14 Canadian dollars over on YouTube Super Chat, saying no pain in the anxiety pen. I know. Thank you, Mallory. W's for Mallory in that chat. Thank you so much. As well as Gabrielle with the $15 over on PayPal, saying, hey, I'm a more recent fan. I've been listening to your VODs. You're doing great work. Thank you for the love, Gabriella. Everybody, show some love to Gabriella and Mallory. And then also Sam with the $10 on Venmo, saying, thanks for all that you do for America. Thanks for the $10 and the kind message, Sam. And Marlene with the $30 over on Venmo, saying, thank you, Dean. I gave more to Parker this week, too, and I gave you more for Momo. Oh, thank you for the love, Marlene. That is Marlene. 300 W's for Marlene down below. That's so kind of you. What's up, Zoe? Did you vote for Trump?
What is good, Dean? Yes, I have. Nice to see you again.
Have we already spoken?
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay, I don't remember you. Why'd you vote for Trump?
I've said my piece before. I just wanted to say you sound like a Republican being like, they're paying people to come troll you.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of the bit, Zoe.
Oh, I don't understand.
So you admit that sounds like people on like your side of the political spectrum?
Yeah, because, we're skeptics, which
Okay,
is good.
so then could you admit that like probably the people on your side of the political spectrum are like so unironically crazy that I get to make a joke out of it?
No.
Okay. So why do you support Trump? Do you mind just reiterating the reasons why, Zoe? Let's go over it again. Why don't we?
Honestly, I haven't been in such a political mindset because we won. I don't have to be so stressed about it.
No, you've lost. I mean, have you seen what Donald Trump's been doing as of yesterday? He imposed tariffs on literally every other country in the world, including uninhabited islands. And this has led to like the Prime Minister of Canada saying that the U.S. is no longer the leader of economic global commerce. There's retaliatory offenses from literally every other country on the face of the planet. And we have American stock markets crumbling. We're barreling towards a recession. And the implementation of those tariffs was the largest increase in sales tax on Americans in American history. There's literally no positive outcome.
No, there definitely is. Long term, there is, but I understand why everyone's so upset right now.
Wait, explain to me with precise detail and reason why there will be long-term benefits.
Because it will incentivize companies from America to make their product in America instead of having to pay so much from other countries.
So then how come we already have
produce the
American
products.
companies laying off hundreds of workers in response to his tariffs?
What?
And how come we already have American companies laying off hundreds of workers in response to his tariffs?
Because the beginning's not the easy part. It's never been.
So your argument's essentially like a trust me, bro. It's gonna get better, I promise, right?
Well, I mean, if you look at everything, it makes sense that in the future we'll probably, work on the debt in this country.
Kylan, thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo. Would you say W Kylan?
You're talking to me?
Yeah, W Kylan for the $10 on Venmo.
Make your coin, Dean.
W Kylan?
W.
Base. Okay. Okay. Thank you for the good evening. But anyways, yeah. And like also for like GDP growth in the long term, I think it'll actually be pretty bad. The reason why I say that is because it shifts our focus away from competitive advantage. So we're no longer producing what we're good at making and trying to produce literally everything for higher prices. Like, it's more efficient and cheaper to get like wood and lumber from Canada and like drywall and steel from Mexico to build houses. But now with these tariffs, those goods are going to be significantly more expensive. So we'll either have to buy them at a higher price or produce them here, which is going to make housing significantly more expensive. And I mean, just because of like the lack of reason to impose tariffs on all of our allies, other countries are kind of like boycotting America right now. They're taxing American banks. They're like pulling their industries out of corporate investments, which will like slow and reduce GDP growth in the long term on top of a shift away from competitive advantage that'll make our economy less productive and more expensive for the average consumer, which will redistribute wealth from poor people to rich people. So overwhelmingly, I don't even think that these tariffs will have long-term impacts that are good. Gigi, thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
I'm sure the other countries are upset that we're not letting them walk all over us anymore. So
Wait, how has Canada been walking all over us?
well, I don't mean Canada necessarily. Or
Okay,
Mexico.
what countries are you talking about?
The other ones.
Like which ones specifically?
China.
Okay, has China been walking all over us? Ethan, with the $5 over on
Everything.
Venmo.
Majority of the things in our stores are made in China.
Okay, and how's that them walking
We're
all
in
over us?
America. Why don't we be self-sufficient? Why wouldn't you want to be self-sufficient?
Because it's more expensive to produce a good in America.
Or now it is. If we start doing it and get that ball rolling, eventually it'd be nice for us.
Would you know what Donald Trump's tariffs on China led to in his first term?
No.
It bankrupted American farmers. Because we
We've been
trade.
bankrupt.
We
We've been
no
in
listen.
debt.
No.
We've been in debt.
I'm talking about American farmers, okay? Families got bankrupt because we trade with China, especially with our agricultural output. Okay, we export so many soybeans and other agricultural goods to China. What happened when we imposed higher tariffs on China during Donald Trump's first administration is they turned around and they were like, F you guys, why the hell did he do that? And just imposed higher tariffs on us, which then led to agricultural exports from American producers plummeting, which bankrupted American farmers that were predominantly reliant on those exports. It was so bad that Donald Trump had to pass the farm bill and bail them out with billions of dollars paid for by you, me, and every other taxpayer.
I mean, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I have not seen one firsthand situation where that's the case for farmers. Like, I've seen a lot of people who actually said they've done much better under Trump than they did under Biden.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're saying that I'm wrong because you haven't seen it with your own two
No, I never
eyes?
said that. I'm just saying I have not seen any examples of real life people saying that they did worse under Trump.
There was real life people that went bankrupt and got bailed out by the farm bill.
I haven't seen any examples of this, and you know what? I'm not saying you're talking out of your.
So then why did he pass the farm bill?
What exactly was the farm bill?
It was literally subsidizing American farmers that he bankrupted. By the way, the argument that you haven't seen it, therefore it's not true, that's like playing hide and go seek with a
I'm not
toddler,
saying
with a
it's not
toddler
true. I'm saying
covering
I
his
haven't
eyes
seen
and
it
saying that they're
actually.
invisible.
Like, I didn't say it's not true. I'm saying I haven't seen it.
Well, I gave you all the evidence that you need to see it. Just look up a comparison
You just
of
said
increasing
words.
tariffs on China with U.S. agricultural exports. If you go on Google and you type in U.S. agricultural exports year by year, and then you look back to 2017 and 2018, you will see a massive fucking dip, right? And then if you look up the farm bill and you go to Congress's website, you'll see that that was passed 6 to 12 months after that massive fucking dip. And then if you look at Trump's imposition of tariffs on China, you'll see that was passed 3 months before the massive fucking dip. Okay, I'm demonstrating to you how you can get the raw data to come to these conclusions, man. Ryan, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat, and Jillian with a $5 on Super Chat as well.
Like I said, I have not been in a political mindset, and I haven't been doing my political research as much as I could have right now. So I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm just saying I have not seen examples of this. That's all. That's literally all.
Okay, so you're basically saying I'm closed-minded. I'm not really going to.
No, that's
consider
actually
deep
not
thought.
exactly
anything
all
that
what I
Trump
said.
anything that Dean just said. about Trump.
Buddy, what? I didn't say any of those words.
Okay. All right. Well,
But I
hey.
am getting out of here. You have a blessed rest of your day, okay? You be nice to everybody.
Okay. All right. See ya.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good one. We're going to go to... Don't worry. I got you. I'll kick you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to go to move on to the next guest, everyone. If you're in the live and you voted for Trump, go ahead and spam MAGA down below in that chat, everybody. Let's go and get the next guest up of the box. But I would like to thank Mr. Lamb. Oh, my gosh. Oh my gosh, with $100 super chat on YouTube. Holy crap, Matt. Matt says, Mr. Lamb says, hey, Dean, Matt here. Just to thank you for making us all smarter in our everyday conversation and for enriching my personal commute home for months now. Matt, that is so incredibly kind of you. I want to see W Matt in the comment section, at least for the next 20 minutes straight, for the $100 super chat. That is so kind. W fucking Matt, bro. Thank you so much for the love. That goes so far. What's up, Jasper? Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, I did, brother.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
Hannah with a $5 over on PayPal. Real quick, what time is
brother.
it?
Me?
Yeah, you.
It's 8:32.
All right, you did not vote for Trump. Moving on to the next guest, go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that chat if you want to come up and debate. We'll get you up here. We got Protect Time loading in. How about that? We got Protect Time loading in. What's up, Protect Time? You vote for Trump?
Let's make God's consistency.
Okay, I don't know what I think he was about to like call me a slur, but he like exited out of the live before he could. I mean, cell phone. Okay, moving on to the next guest. Everyone just give us a minute. We got our next guest, Mr. Trap City, loading up. And thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat saying happy birthday yesterday to Pink Lemonade. Hey, happy late birthday, Pink Lemonade. Happy late birthday. Everybody show some love to Pink Lemonade. What's up, Trap City? Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
19.
19? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it, man? Why'd you do it? Seriously, why'd you do it?
Fuck, dude. I don't even know.
Okay, all right. Then why are you here? If you don't know why he's a better candidate, the debate live probably isn't the best place for you.
I don't know, bro. You want to buy some crack?
All right, we're gonna move on to the next guest, everybody. There's a potentiality that gets a live taken down. I did boot him out super duper quick though, so there's also potentiality that it doesn't. I will say if the live does get taken down, everybody go to the YouTube and the link in my bio, y'all. Everyone go to the YouTube and the link in my bio. I think because of how fast we removed him, we'll all be good. But just out of extreme precaution, make sure to head over to the YouTube if we do get taken down. Yo, what is going on? Did you vote for Trump? All right, you were just spamming MAGA in the chat. Do you have stage fright now? I guess I do. We're going to move on to the next guest, everybody. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that comment section if you do want to come up here and debate. Everybody. And if you do want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio over here on TikTok. I get 100% of the proceeds over there. Is a thank you for the galaxy. As well as I get 100%, like 70% of the proceeds over on YouTube Super Chat. And if you are watching on YouTube and you'd like to find my PayPal or my Venmo, you can find that in the link in my bio. We're going to move on to the next guest. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that comment section on the TikTok live stream. If you do want to come up here and debate, we got Cole loading in. We got Cole in the live, actually. That's awesome. Okay. What's up, Mr. Cole? Did you vote for Trump? All right, Cole left super duper quick. He spam MAGA in the chat, then he got stage fright and said, I got a dip. Okay, so he hit the jet. That's for sure. Thank you for the sunglasses. All right, what is up, Liam? Did you vote for Trump? Liam's not here. What's up, Kelly? Did you vote for Trump? Kelly, I could hear you. You are on your phone. I know that you hear my voice. I'm going to go ahead and just give you 5 seconds here to speak up. Okay, Kelly doesn't want to speak up, you guys. A whole lot of stage fright from our Trump supporters today. A whole lot of stage fright. Isn't that unfortunate? All right, we see Chad down below. We're going to go and get him pulled up here. Maya, thank you for the $10 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you, Maya. That is MAIA with the $10. Maya says, I appreciate what you do. I've been listening to your streams on YouTube at work. That's awesome, Maya. Thank you for your love. And then also Kitty with the $5 over on super chat. What's up, Chad? Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Chad. Well, let's go ahead and have a conversation. Why the hell did you do that?
So I'm not much of a religious person, and defunding the DOE and kind of making it more responsible by the state to select the education, to me allows the teachings to be more open-minded rather than centralized around like Christianity.
So I believe that it will be more centralized around like particular religious beliefs if we were to rescind the ability to legislate one's curriculum in its totality back down to the state level. My evidence of this is Oklahoma, who's now reinstituted the Christian Bible back into the school. Not to mention that Trump ran on putting God back in America and God back in the classroom, which was tangential to his belief that the DOE should be overturned.
I mean, to be honest, I think Trump is kind of just using the appearance of Christianity to, appear better to more voters. I don't think he's actually Christian.
But my argument is that overturning the Federal Department of Education won't lead to a more secular curriculum. If anything, it'd be more secular if we were to have that federal board.
Okay. All right. Well, that's probably about the longest I could last looking like an idiot because I did not vote for Trump. That would be the dumbest shit I've ever done in my life.
Okay, we're going to go to move on to the next guest. I love you, Yogurt. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love. Yogurt says, dude, can we talk about how removing someone's rights based upon race/sexuality as in will never improve anybody's life? Yeah, it's so surprising to me that millions of Americans disagree with that statement. Thank you so much for the $10 as well as the important message. We're going to go and get that next guest loaded into the queue, you guys. If you're MAGA, go ahead and just let me know down below in that chat by saying that you're MAGA, literally spamming it like Mr. Timmy Turner just did that got him up on the live. And yeah, we'll get you up here for a conversation. We are just looking for some debates. And I'd really appreciate it if all 8.4 thousand people watching the stream right now could start double tapping so we could get up to 2 million likes. And then once more, if you want to support me and support the stream, you can find the Venmo and the PayPal and the link tree in the bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms, and I could give you a shout out, read off your name and a message. Mr. Timmy, go ahead and unmute that mic for me and tell us why you voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump because I don't want illegals in
Wait, real
America
quick.
anymore.
Age, please.
I am 19.
19? How long do you expect me to believe that for, Mr. Timmy Turner?
Just keep believing it for like 20 minutes, please.
Okay. All right, we're going to go to get the next guest up in the box. Everyone go ahead and spam maggot down below in that comment section if you want to come up and debate. We're going to go to get Cole up here next. Dude, it is so crazy. We have like close to 9,000 people listening in on TikTok, and it is so hard to find one person that's willing to come up here and debate. Also, Johnny, good to see you, man. I appreciate you for the raid. For everybody coming in from Johnny's stream, thanks for being here. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Cole? Did you vote for Trump?
No.
Okay, then don't spam MAGA down below in that chat. So half of our country supports the president. Half of the country supports the president. There's 9,000 people in this live. That should mean that half the people in this live should support the president. Okay? There should be at least around 4 to 4.5 thousand human souls watching my live right now, listening to every word that comes out of my mouth that supports President Donald Trump. Okay? And it is nuts. It is nuts that we cannot find one human that is willing to come up here and debate. All right. Yo, Toya, thank you so much for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love, Toya. Toya says, hey, Dean, keep it up. I never miss a live. I love you. That is Toya. Everybody, please show them some love down below in that comment section. That is so incredibly kind of you. All right, but if you do disagree here and you did vote for Trump, go ahead and spam maggot down below in that chat and I'll get you up here. What's going on, Mr. John? Did you vote for Trump?
What's up? Yes, I did.
All right, Mr. John, why did you do that?
I make over $400,000 a year, but first of all, two things before we get into it. Number one, SCO buffs.
You don't get to say that. You don't get to say that.
Hey. Number two, I'm a passenger in a vehicle right now, so I'm not driving. I know you can hear car sounds, but I'm being driven. So I just wanted to teach the viewers about something. You mentioned before comparative advantage, and I feel like a lot of people may not know what that means.
Competitive.
Sorry, a little bit of a finance guy here. So I just wanted to tell everyone why tariffs are going to be terrible for you from the perspective of corporate America, from someone who is somewhat of an insider in the financial aspect.
Can I just cut you off real quick?
Yeah.
So you're telling us that you recognize that Donald Trump's policy as it relates to tariffs are terrible for the average American, but you voted for him as you make over $400,000 per year and you think that it may benefit yourself.
No one knew. I mean, maybe actually I take that back. People knew. Lots of people knew. I was unaware personally that it was going to be this bad.
Okay. Well,
so
in retrospect,
to,
would you change your vote if you could?
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. What people don't realize with the idea of bringing business back to America is it sounds so easy. It sounds so easy to build a factory until you realize that other countries have spent their entire time as they've become industrialized developing a certain kind of manufacturing that we don't have, i.e., there's your example of comparative advantage. But you really expect that we are going to be able to, first of all, undergo the legality of cancel contracts that we already had with pre-established suppliers, that we are going to go through the hell that is going to be the supply chain and logistics, analytics, and change with moving everything back. The administrative hell that onboarding new people and training them is going to be. The cost hell that it's going to be to buy the proprietary technology. Yeah.
You're going through
What's
a
up?
little bit of a rough patch here. Insofar as your connection, you're lagging a little bit.
I am
How
so
about
upset at
this?
what's happening in the country.
Would you be able to go ahead and DM me on Instagram? I'd love to have you maybe come up on a live and give us your thoughts as an insider in finance and big corporation. But you are just like lagging right now, so maybe it is a better time.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely, I would love to.
All right.
Absolutely, I would love to. And yes, I regret my vote. And if you have any business IQ, you should too.
Well, that's awesome, John. I'm really happy to hear you regret your vote, and I appreciate you for joining me. Please feel free to DM me on Instagram, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he regrets his vote, and he's willing to kind of share information with others about why it's a bad decision. Mr. Chris, saw you spamming MAGA in the chat. Did you vote for Trump?
Absolutely, dude.
Chris, why would you ever make such a terrible decision? Let's start there.
I don't think it was a terrible decision. I think it was one of the best decisions I've ever made, voting for a presidential candidate. I've been voting since Bush. And I'd like to say that his immigration policy is spot on. If you come into this country and you light people on fire, you should not be here, point blank.
Okay, so do you think that his immigration policy is only deporting individuals that light others on fire?
I think that he's doing a lot more for immigration than any other president has. And he's helping scourge the criminal,
no.
you know, underbelly that's
Stop
coming
it.
into America.
Oh, he's scourging the criminal underbelly that's coming into America? No, that criminal underbelly went into the White House, sir. You voted that criminal underbelly of Donald Trump and his cronies straight into the White House. They are eroding the checks and balances of our country. They already tried to stress test and break the functions of our democracy in 2020 when Donald Trump tried to coup and rig and steal the election from Mr. Biden. And that's on top of his 34 felony convictions, on top of the civil court that held him liable for rape, and on top of his cabinet members today, such as Tulsi Gabbard and the DUI candidate from Fox News, that have now lied about not sharing confidential war plans inside of a Signal group chat, but then had to testify to the fact they did in front of the Senate, sir. Okay? The only criminal underbelly that I'm really afraid of is our current administration, and that's a fact. Squiggy, thank you for the $5 over on YouTube Super Chat. I do really appreciate you for the love.
Nice pivot, Dean. Has Trump ever lit anybody on fire? Because that's what I'm here to talk about.
So, as far as I know, Donald Trump has not literally lit anybody else on fire. Do you think all of the undocumented migrants that he has deported have literally lit people on fire?
Oh, they've done worse. They've raped women. They've broken into houses. They've brought people over illegally that have gotten kidnapped and pushed into sex slavery. It's absolutely disgusting what's happening at the border. And we're down 94% to 95%. If you look at the crossings of January of 2024, they were over 4,800 per day. 4,800 per day illegal encounters. And it went all the way down to 300.
Hey, Chris.
That's a huge...
You asked me if Donald Trump has lit anybody on fire. I now revise my response. He hasn't lit anybody on fire, but he's done worse, such as raping a woman.
Okay, we all know in the court case that that's absolutely false. It literally had a box in there that said, "Did he grape a person? Did he grape Eugene Carroll?" And it said no. It said no, Dean.
Are you ready for the nuance, Chris?
Are you ready for no nuance is needed? The court found that he did not grape anyone.
Nuance is needed. Could we agree that grape would include the forceful penetration of one's female member with any part of a man's body?
Oh, I could agree that Eugene Carroll made up lies about that.
That wasn't the question that I asked you. What a weird pivot. Answer my question, please.
You've been pivoting this whole conversation, Dean.
Name one pivot.
When I started bringing up illegal immigration and how illegal immigrants are lighting people on fire, you went on some weird rant about how Trump was the worst criminal there is. That was a pivot.
So that wasn't a pivot. As you were saying that we need to eradicate the criminal underbelly of our country, which you see to be the undocumented migrants in America, And I merely said, no, it is not undocumented migrants who exist as a criminal underbelly of America, but rather the president and his cronies in the entirety of his administration. And I give evidence to support that. But to make my point even more evidently clear, there's a research group by the name of PNAS. PNAS has been tracking crime rates as committed by citizens and undocumented migrants since the 1970s, so for over 50 years now. And what they've demonstrated is that undocumented migrants are 2 times less likely than you, sir, a natural U.S.-born citizen, to commit a violent crime. So you are more of a threat to the national security of our country in the context of committing violent crimes compared to undocumented migrants.
They still commit violent crimes and they should not be in our country. And what we're doing right now, shipping them down to El Salvador, is the best thing that's ever happened. Let me give you an example. Why should my fiance, who's Colombian, who's coming in the legal way, literally have judges having to focus on illegal immigrants over her getting her visa in the right manner? That's what's happening. It's taking resources over from people who are coming in legally.
Wait. You're saying that now there's judges, there's immigration judges that are having to oversee a significantly larger amount of hearings for undocumented migrants that will be deported, and that is taking resources away from legal migrants. Hey, I want to ask you a question real quick. Why are there more immigration judges focusing on the deportation hearings of undocumented migrants? Is it possibly because Donald Trump has launched a mass deportation campaign? Is that why? So are you saying that Donald Trump has taken more resources away from legal migrants wanting to come into our country, which is a bad thing?
No, you cut me off before I could finish, Dean. What I was talking about was during the normal flow of illegal immigrants. They're coming in and they're taking resources away from people who are going through the legal means and the legal process, Dean.
Do you know that like Trump has deported people like your wife, individuals currently undergoing the legal means of immigration into the country? Like for instance, he made a rule basically saying that he could kick out anybody that is currently in America through the legal status of asylum, and the live was ended and it was banned and it was disconnected, and I'm absolutely so sad because I was cooking and I just can't even believe it. Oh my God. Wow. Let's see how long of a ban that is. It is a 3-day ban. I'm so fucking sad. Hopefully we get the account back. That is terrible, but quite frankly. It was a guest violation. It wasn't even a violation of my own. I'm so sick and fucking tired of these guest violations. They piss me off, bro. It's like, I don't even do anything. I don't do anything to deserve it. Nothing. I do nothing. I do absolutely nothing to deserve it. Nothing at all. It is just a guest violation. That shit pisses me off, man. Terrible. You know what the worst part is, you guys? You know what the worst part is? We don't have any accounts to go live on till tomorrow at 3:18 p.m. So that appeal better get approved, or else we will have no accounts to go live on. Oh, all right. Let's see if that appeal gets approved, man. See if that appeal gets approved. Make one? Unfortunately, you can't. You can't just like make one. You got to undergo like a lot of steps in order to have like full access. Yo, Isaiah, thank you for the $20 donation over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you, Isaiah. Isaiah says, yeah, Squinny, Queen Skinny Legend of Versace boots, the house down Slay Queen, Hunty Ma'am, and I oop daddy work Charlie XCX snatch my wig. What? Thanks for the $20, Isaiah. That's a very kind gesture from you. That's a lot of love. That's a lot of very serious love, Isaiah. Nirvala, thank you so much for the £5 saying Parker's not here to blame. TikTok has to target Dean for now. I know, dude. Rough, man. I am just really hoping that that appeal is going to go through, or we are cooked. Man, we are so cooked. We are so cooked. no. You know, I feel like I have like a billion other accounts that I just don't know the login to. There's like a bunch of them. Thomas, thank you for the $20 donation over on Venmo. It's incredibly kind of you, Thomas. Thank you so much for the love. I want to see 200 W Thomases down below in that chat right now. Quite frankly, thank you, Thomas. You are awesome. Thank you so much, Thomas. Mr. Thomas, you're very awesome. Very awesome indeed. Very awesome indeed. Oh, man. TikTok is censoring us. But I mean, hopefully the appeal just goes through. Alicia, thank you for the $5 over on PayPal saying troll MAGA. Yeah, we always have that option. We always have the option to troll MAGA. I also think like I realistically like could take today off. Like if this appeal doesn't get proved, like we're just gonna be fucked. That's the reality of it. So we could just take the day off. I might do that. Like I have a lot of things I need to do nonetheless. I'm not going to lie, you guys, because of my streaming schedule, you know, like I never really have too much time to like run errands. Like I think I got to go to the bank. I've been needing to go to the bank for a couple weeks. I need to like check with a body shop to see if I could get my bumper of my car fixed. I've been needing to do that for weeks. Ryan, thank you for the $5 saying take the day off. We'll see. Oh, you guys got lucky. You lucky motherfuckers. You're stuck with me for another 3 hours. The appeal got approved. You lucky motherfuckers. Oh, let's go. I'm so surprised I got appealed. Oh my God. I'm genuinely fucking perplexed that got appealed. Wow, that never happens. That never happens, you guys. We never get our appeals approved. It's a great day for the Dean Team Dream Team. Look at that. That's the first W we've taken forever. Somebody in the chat asked if I pay high insurance rates for my car. I do. Lunar, thank you for the $10 over on Super Chat. Saying, how do I get all my information about Trump? I actually have like a very interesting way of getting info. So I cross-reference like the big like breaking news creators on TikTok, like particularly Aaron Parnas and Philip DeFranco. And then I see what they're saying, and then I just do independent research from like major reputable publishers like Reuters, AP, etc., to see if what they're reporting is accurate. But I wouldn't lie if I have a lot of trust in those people, you know, because like I'm just personally familiar with both of them, and I just don't feel like they'd lie. But I never just trust anything somebody says on the internet. I don't do mainstream like legacy news. I can't do it. Stop getting info from TikTok. Well, I'm getting the information and then I'm fact checking it. DeFranco's still going? Man, I used to watch him in high school. Yeah, dude's still doing it, man. He's a legend. He's a legend. All right, we're going to go ahead and go live again over on TikTok. Let's go. So Philip followed me and then DM'd me. I might reach out to him and see if like we could collab on something, because I really do like the guy. Carly with the $5 over on PayPal. Thank you. And then Squiggy, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat saying, I'll be waiting to debate you, Mr. Lavender Vape. Dude, that was a generational crash out. For content. That was purely for content. Jesus Christ, I'm terrible. Wait, what is happening? It logged me out of TikTok Studio, bro. What? Scan with your device's mobile camera. I could log in with QR? Interesting. Colleen! Thank you so much for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love, Colleen. Saying we all appreciate you, Dean. Please don't let MAGA slam you for vaping. You do you. It's not a vape! I'm just kidding. Thank you so much for the love, Colleen. Eris with a $10 saying W appeal, L responsibilities, L bump, rip bumper. Yeah, dude, the bumper's been fucked up for a long time now. I haven't put the time into fixing it. Thank you for the love. You guys are awesome. I appreciate everyone so much for your donations. And also Greeny, thank you so much for the $20 over in Super Chat saying you should bring up that finance guy sometime. Yeah, I agree. I hope that he legitimately DMs me because that'd be pretty cool. I agree. But anyways, yeah, bro, I pay really high insurance rates. I'm going to go and tell the story, then we'll go live again on TikTok. It's because when I was like 16, 17, I got caught speeding 23 miles over the speed limit going to church. I was late. I was late for church, and I knew that my dad would be mad at me if I didn't show up on time. So I was going pretty fast down like a road with like a low speed limit, and I got caught by a cop. And the repercussions of that actually still haunt me to this day. I've ended up paying thousands and thousands of dollars and like additional insurance increase insurance rates because of that. You know, like being like a 20-year-old young male with a speeding ticket of over 20 miles per hour over the posted speed limit on my record is not good news. Not good news. Not to church. Yeah, bro. Then I remember even like telling the cop that I was going to church, and I live like in a rural Republican area. I thought that would get him to be like, "Amen. You're chasing Jesus. You're chasing your eternal salvation. Don't let the rule of man shackle you down when you're chasing an eternal salvation, young man. You're young, you're dumb, you'll fuck up, you'll make mistakes, but as long as you keep God in your heart, you're doing more than 99% of the demons on this earth. So I'm not going to give you a speeding ticket today." But it didn't work. He called my mom. He told me to call my mom, and I got in trouble. Okay. All right. We're going to go live. Miriam, thank you so much for the $5 saying, "Love you, Dean. You could use my login anytime you get kicked from live. I have over 60K, and I'm pretty sure that I have full access to live." Loki, that might be like something really good to do because I'd help you grow your account, and you'd help me go live for the day. Good trade. Appreciate you for that, Miriam. Going live. I didn't see Dean. We're already back on. Did I end up making it to church though? I did. You're funny as fuck today. I love you. Never die. I won't die. I appreciate that. I'm in a good mood. Ate well this morning. That's it. I'm well fed and hydrated. Hello and welcome back in, everybody. For everybody tuning back into the live stream, we got taken down. Okay, I called it. It was unfortunate, I know, but we're back, and that's all that matters, right? So for everybody tuning back into the live, guys, make sure that you're double tapping away on that phone screen. I do appreciate you so much for being in here today. If you're one of the first 300 people tuning back into the live, guys, make sure that we are double tapping away on that phone screen and sharing this live out with a handful of friends or copying that link. If you're tuning in and you're MAGA, go ahead and spam MAGA down below in that chat. We will get you up here for a conversation. Now, we're going to go ahead and get my main account up here as a guest, so hopefully we could send the notification that we're live out to as many people as possible. Super cool. Eris, thank you for the $5 over on YouTube Super Chat. And yeah, go ahead and spam MAGA down below in that queue if you voted for Trump and you'd like to come up. Here we go, you guys. All right, we got the main account loading in. We're going to go to get it connected. That's going to send the live out to the Noti Gang. Avery, thank you for the $8 over on YouTube Super Chat. Very kind, very kind, very kind. And all right, let's go and get the debates back underway. We're going to waste no time. If you are MAGA, if you voted for Trump, hop in that queue and spam MAGA down below in that chat. As well as, oh my God, Sam! Holy shit! Sam with the 50-pound super chat over on YouTube. That is crazy, Sam. Sam says, "Yay, tariffs. This will turn out really terrific." Or terrifying. Tariff puns. Sam, you are way too excited about those tariffs. But I love and appreciate you so much for that 50-pound donation. That is incredibly kind of you. It's W, Sam, you guys. Too kind, bro. Too kind. But all right, you guys, we're going to go to get that first debate of the night underway. If you're tuning back in from the band, we are back. We did get our account restricted, but we're back now. So we're going to go to get that first guest, Mr. M. Allen, up in that queue. What is going on, M. Allen? Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. Why did you do that, dude? One of the worst decisions of your life. Tell us why.
I heard earlier I was on your YouTube listening, and you still religious, man?
Am I still religious? No, I'm not.
No. I just want to say this before we start on this debate. God bless. Hope this goes well. So I'm gonna assume you voted for Kamala.
Yeah, I voted for Kamala Harris. Why'd you vote for Trump?
I voted for Trump because I'm a history person. All right, I like history. I've done a lot of my fair share. For history from hundreds of years, what was the main thing that happened? It was things got worse before they got better. absolutely 100% of the time. And if you actually looked, yes, back in 2018 when Trump did put farmers into debt, after he bought them back out, things were going a lot smoother than usual because we had things not getting imported from China, Japan, and all these other facilities, other countries. And those tariffs that we so-called hate for business people, yes, we hate it because we're taxing China. We weren't getting everything that was getting imported from China that the taxpayers were paying for with Biden under control. So these tariffs are actually switching the role and making China have to pay taxes, not us. That's what people are not getting.
Okay, so well, that's not true. Because who pays the tax? Typically speaking, who pays the tax of the tariff?
Taxes of tariffs? Well, before in Biden's control, it was us, American people. That's what with tariffs weren't. Sorry, let me elaborate. Tariffs weren't a thing on Biden, but we were paying for every import that was coming through with Biden.
Oh, what are you? Okay, we always. Okay, when you go to the grocery store and you buy like a head of lettuce, for instance, do you pay money for that?
Yes, those are normal taxes. Yes.
Yeah.
Taxes,
Listen, if you go on like some like highly specialized like website where you could buy like Chinese lettuce that is just like tastes better or whatever, do you pay for that?
Number one, why would I do that? That's not even what I'm going.
The point of what I'm saying is, of course, that the American people pay for the goods that are imported because they're imported for us to buy them.
But no. What I'm saying is China didn't pay. They don't pay nothing to send it over. Unlike when we send things over there.
Well, even under tariffs, like typically speaking, like the Chinese company doesn't pay that tariff. It's typically paid by the importer who then passes it off to the consumer. But even if the Chinese company pays that tariff, all that they do to keep their business alive is they increase the price of their good to bump their margins so they could still run a functioning company without being in the red. So either way you look at it, either they just literally pass that off to the importer, say, guys, there's this 15% tariff, importer, if you're going to buy our goods, you have to pay that tariff. Or what they do is they pay the tariff, the Chinese company will pay the tariff, but then the Chinese company will increase the price of the product that they're selling to American importers
so
to absorb the price of the tariff.
Okay, so your big thing was that we're going to increase the prices.
Yes.
Isn't that why we want facilities in America so we don't have to?
Oh, well,
isn't that why we're trying to get facilities?
So here's the thing though, because the reason we don't already have more of a reliance on goods produced in America in the American economy is because they're more expensive. Just one moment. Is because just allow me to finish. Is because they're more expensive than goods produced in other countries, at least for some goods, meaning that the American produced goods has been priced out of the market. So if you're telling me that, well, making goods from other countries more expensive will cause a higher level of domestic production of goods, well, all that you're telling me is it's just going to cause more people to buy that American good that was originally priced out of the market because it's been priced back into the market, not because it's cheaper, but because all the other goods are more expensive. So either way, you're still paying more for that good. I'll give you an example. You go to the grocery store one day before Donald Trump imposes his tariffs. You're buying green beans. American green beans cost $2. Chinese green beans cost $1. They're the same value. They're the same quality. Which green beans are you buying?
Which green beans I'm buying the $1, but that's not what I'm going at.
Just allow me to finish here. The next day Donald Trump imposes his tariffs, you go back to buy more green beans the next week. American green beans still cost $2. Chinese green beans cost $2.50. If you still decide to go with a foreign good, you're paying an additional $1.50. But if the increased price of the foreign good incentivizes you to buy from the American producer, you're still paying an extra $1 compared to what you would be paying if the tariff never existed in the first place, meaning that you're still paying more.
Okay, but number one, you're going on green beans. Number one, that is the worst kind of explanation ever because all our produce, whatever. Because the things that we're getting shipped over are not some green beans. They are much more higher quality of production in general. And yes, either way, we're going to be paying more. But what comes with factories? Jobs. For those...
What comes with a recession? A lack of jobs. We're heading towards a recession.
What happened?
Because of his tariffs.
Because of his tariffs. But what if you go back in history, everything declined before it inclined. When Trump Yeah. If you think about it, everything did.
So you're saying that things necessarily have to get worse before they get better?
It's a common order, yes.
So did slavery have to happen for black individuals to have human rights in America?
That's just no. That's a tragedy. There's a difference between that.
Okay.
That is people, white men thinking they were superior and being dumb.
So typically the reason why we see this pattern of bad things happening before good things throughout history is
I gotta know real quick,
Oh.
before you continue on this.
Okay.
When you got that speeding ticket, that was a bad decision. Now you're better from it, right? You had something bad to make you good. There is things that make you.
So here, listen. If you'll allow me to speak here, the reason why we typically see this pattern of bad things happening before good things throughout history is because people will do really bad things, suffer the consequences from it, and then try to get their shit together so they face the consequences no more. Okay, I'm not denying that can happen throughout history, but my argument is that it just doesn't have to happen. Like, I was a reckless, irresponsible kid that drove like 35 miles over the posted speed limit everywhere I went. And then I got a speeding ticket, and now I haven't sped more than 5 miles over the speeding limit for the last 2 years, right? But this doesn't mean that has to happen to not speed. I'm sure that there's plenty of other people watching this live, possibly even including yourself, that have never gotten a speeding ticket and follow the law, or people that have gotten plenty of speeding tickets and still don't follow the law, okay? And what I'm saying here is, okay, we do see this trend of bad things happening before good things. It doesn't need to happen. And my evidence was Kamala Harris's campaign. Kamala Harris's campaign was going to make America better. She was going to cut taxes for 100 million American workers in the low and middle class, reducing levels of income inequity, giving more purchasing power to the average American, while also keeping our allyship with our friends like Canada, Mexico, and countries in the EU alive and thriving.
Mexico, the same people that are getting sent over, the same people that we have millions crossing. Yes, we have those good immigrants that we're shipping over that you were talking about earlier. The illegals that are only here for the good, to work, to do this, provide better, that are getting sent over. Is that tragic? Absolutely. But in all reality, that's on them because they didn't go through the process. They didn't go through what they needed to do.
Yo, this pivot is breaking my neck, dude.
This pivot? No.
Does anybody have like one of those like, it's like the plastic thing that you put around your, like,
I love how you always interrupt every single time on everyone.
I'm just saying that was a very violent pivot.
Because you're going at multiple different angles, but the thing is, they all lead to one thing.
I need a neck brace after that. Okay, what's your argument about immigration? Do you think that Trump was better for immigration?
There's no doubt about that.
Okay, name one policy that Donald Trump is either already influencing to get passed or wants to influence to get passed to reduce undocumented migration into America over the southern border in the long term.
He is getting. Oh, what?
Oh, I was just gonna say it sounds like you can't. I mean, Kamala Harris had one, the bipartisan border bill. It was going to a lot more funding to courts on the southern border.
Kamala Harris, the same one that still has people that had millions of people coming in.
You're saying that she served as a VP to the administration that oversaw an uproar and undocumented entry into America. You're correct. The reason why that upsurge occurred was because of the expiration of Title 42 deprived socioeconomic conditions in southern Latin American countries, which gave migrants a lot of incentive to come into America. And the Biden-Harris administration solution to this was to influence a bipartisan border bill through Congress. But of course, Donald Trump told Republicans to shoot it down and vote against it, even though that is the only legislation we've seen in modern American history to do anything that would have reduced undocumented migration into America.
Okay, so what you're saying is
you interrupted me 7 times there. I counted on my hand.
Okay, but you interrupted other people multiple times, over.
Okay, so you're saying that you're unwilling to have a productive conversation with me because you don't think I've had a productive conversation with other people? Like holy shit! If you're gonna sit up here and say that you want to be a vigilante and that you're gonna interrupt me while I speak because I've interrupted other people, you're basically saying that you're not here for a productive conversation about politics. You don't want to listen. You don't want to learn, and you're just up here to like antagonize and put on a show for the other Trump supporters watching the live. Okay? So I'm going to go and repeat what I just said, and I'm going to have you listen because I will not be interrupted because what I'm saying is very valuable. It's very important that you hear me, and it's very important that I'm able to speak without interruption. I'm not just spewing nonsense out of my mouth.
You interrupt other
I'm
people,
giving you
though.
legitimate education.
The hypocrisy is really bad right here.
Hypocrisy is not a word. It's hypocrisy.
I had smoke coming out of my mouth, the same thing that you had earlier, so you kind of muffled it.
I'm confused.
Anyways,
wait one second. Particle. particles in the air made you like misspeak?
It muffled. I said muffled. Didn't say misspeak. I said muffled. You know what muffling is?
You didn't have.
It means lower decibel.
You didn't have muffled speech. You said hypocrism.
Said hypocrite.
Hypocrism.
Okay. Anyways, go to your point.
I'll stop focusing on like that.
No, go
shit
to your
if
point,
you
buddy.
do too.
Go to your point, buddy.
All right, we could shake
You
on
wanted
that.
to speak it really well.
We could shake on that. So I told you that Kamala Harris was the only candidate in the race with border policy that would have reduced undocumented entry into America in the long term. And then you said, well, didn't she oversee an administration that where there was millions of undocumented migrants coming into America? I said yes. And I said, well, it wasn't caused by the administration. It was caused by the expiration of Title 42 and COVID. The response to this was to try to influence policy through Congress to reduce undocumented migration in the long term by making the legal means of entry better now. The reason why COVID and the expiration of Title 42 caused an upsurge of undocumented entries because the legal means of entry into America were severely backlogged. Okay. But then Donald Trump told the Republicans in Congress to vote against this bill because he didn't want the Democrats to take a win so he could run on it as a political talking point. Meanwhile, that was the only piece of legislation in Congress in modern American history that would have done anything to reduce undocumented migration in the long term. And as you agreed, Donald Trump has never done anything to reduce undocumented migration into America in the long term.
But he's doing it now. That's the thing.
No, he's not. What is he doing?
He's working on it.
What is he working on? Tell me.
Working on it.
Tell me.
I'm trying to, if you stop interrupting.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go to my Trump in a second because I'm going to go off your point, then I'll go to my point. Just hit it out in the open, man. Don't be scared. Just prove the point
what?
that is... Hit what? Bro, stop. Okay,
It's an
anyways.
anxiety pin.
Okay, I didn't say what it was. I'm not here to debate on you what you're hitting. I'm just saying if you're not scared about it, hit in the open. Anyways, back to politics.
TikTok TOS, sir.
Okay, whatever. Kamala Harris, second command underneath the president, correct?
So the vice president is second in command
Yes.
to the president. Yeah.
I'm just making sure we all know. Vice president, same shit, different day. If there is all this stuff making it where, and also, let's keep this in mind, the House was almost all Democrat. Correct or wrong?
Wrong.
Sorry, not the House. The Senate.
Wrong.
Not wrong. It was actually more Democrat than Republican.
Wait, saying that there's more Democrats than Republicans
No,
is
no, no,
not
listen,
the same
listen,
as saying
listen.
that
Let me
it's
finish.
almost all
Let me
Democrats.
finish. Let me finish.
Okay, just give me a second to correct what you said. You just said that saying it was almost all Democrats is the
No,
same
I
as
said
saying
mostly. Mostly Democrats, which means it can get passed
good
easier.
thing I'm streaming on YouTube.
Which means it can get passed easier.
We're gonna listen to what you said.
Okay. Which means it can get passed easier.
We're gonna listen to what you said.
Okay. Which means it can get passed easier.
It was almost all Democrats. It's almost all Democrats.
Not wrong. Not the House. All Democrats. So let's keep this in mind. The House was almost all Democrat. Almost all Democrat. Almost. Keyword almost. You know how almost is spelled?
I literally quoted you as saying almost all Democrat, and you told me that's not what you said.
Most and almost is the same fucking thing.
No, almost all
Okay.
is not the same
Okay.
as most.
Whatever. Okay?
I have a question. If I was holding a bag that was filled with 1,000 marbles, and I told you that almost all of the marbles in the bag were red, what percentage of the marbles in the bag would you assume were red?
90.
Exactly my point. Almost all would denote a high percentage, such
Okay,
as 90.
so most would be about 70.
No, most, a
Most would be
majority
about
would
70
depict
to
at a
60.
minimum of 51.
No.
That's
If most
what does
is
most mean?
Let's look it up. You have a computer in front of you.
The word most would denote one's majority. So most would denote
Majority.
51 through 99%.
51 out of 99.
No, 51 to 99.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So still 60 to 70s. Okay, whatever. Anyways, not the point. If things were easily getting passed, Democratic policies were easily getting passed through that entire year, bills, taxes, everything. Why didn't she deal with that? If she is right there, why couldn't she have dealt with it?
Okay. For those watching, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that you need to be able to bypass a filibuster, which would require a majority of 60. And then B, in the second term, they didn't have a vast majority. And I think it's possible that they didn't have a majority at all. And at that point, they needed the support of Republicans in Congress. And because the Republicans in Congress did not stand behind the bipartisan border bill after Donald Trump told them to vote against it, he torpedoed that bill. You should blame that on Trump. I have no clue why you're trying to make that
but there was never an act to do it though.
Yeah, there was. There was a bipartisan
There was never
border
an
bill.
act to try.
Yes, it was. It was called the Bipartisan Border Bill. Langford, a Trump-endorsed Republican, begun drafting this bill in late 2021, 6 months after they assumed presidency. And then it hit the floor of the House in 2023, passed the floor of the House, went to the Senate. Trump told the Republicans in the Senate to vote it down, and they did.
So you're telling me that entire 4 years, but Trump is still now just able to get rid of them though? He's just able to.
So Donald Trump actually has never
Get rid of them?
Donald Trump has actually never, not in his first 4 years or now in his second term, advocated for, passed, or merely spoken in front of a fucking podium and microphone about any long-term solution to reduce undocumented entry into America. Because the root cause of undocumented entry into
we never. If you want to talk about that, we've been having illegal immigration since hell, fucking ever.
Right, because essentially the legal means of migration into our country have been neglected by our Congress for all of modern American history, including the Democrats, but it's the slow, backlogged, expensive legal means of entry into America and which incentivize undocumented entry to begin with, okay? So my claim isn't that the Democrats are the party of change and really taking the cutting line on immigration policy. I'm further left than the Democratic Party on immigration policy, but what I am arguing was that comparing Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, Kamala Harris wanted to take a small step in the right direction. Meanwhile, Donald Trump wants to take a large step in the wrong direction. The reason I say Donald Trump wants to take a large step in the wrong direction is because he has no long-term border solutions, as well as he supports the mass deportation of all undocumented migrants in America, which is an American last policy which hurts the migrants, hurts us, hurts our country and our economy, while also increasing government expenditure while reducing government revenue.
Okay. So we've talked about how we feel on immigration. I've heard you through all of that. And this isn't, don't think this is a little try to bypass.
I don't care. You could pivot and talk about whatever you want. I'm good.
We're not pivoting.
Okay.
This is
all right. If you don't want to call it a pivot, that's fine. That's fair.
No, I'm not trying to spend my entire life just sitting here. I could sit here for 2 hours.
That's fine. That's fine. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I want to talk about more than that.
Okay.
I want to go out further.
Yeah.
What is your
chat? Stop calling. One moment. Chat, please stop calling it a pivot. He doesn't like that word. Words matter, and that's rude. Go ahead.
No, okay. Chat wants to think it's a pivot. Continue. I wanted to expand on the conversation.
No, please, sir. I want you to be able to bring up whatever you want to talk about. Take it away. If you want to continue to talk about immigration, we could do that.
No, actually, I got to go on my
something else. We could do that too.
No. They're right. I have to go back to my point before Trump because I did kind of pivot on that. So, do you remember your question for the pivot? I mean, for my Trump.
Well, of course. So I gave you a very clear explanation why Donald Trump is terrible for immigration. I talked about how he has no long-term border solutions to reduce undocumented migration, and his mass deportation of all undocumented migrants is an American last policy because it reduces government revenue while increasing government expenditure, while also hurting Americans and America as a whole, as well as our economy by slowing GDP growth, crippling the labor force, which means that we are doing the opposite of reindustrializing America because there's less jobs being worked to provide for American companies, which decreases qualities of life. It's an American last policy, all things considered, and that's a fact, sir.
I didn't ask what you said. I asked what was your question for me.
Well, I don't think I asked a question.
You did. No, you did earlier before.
I think like the most recent question I've asked you is if you could name one Donald Trump policy that will reduce undocumented migration in the long term, and I do not believe you were able to answer it. So I just simply gave you my argument on why I believe that Donald Trump places America last through his immigration policy.
I will shake your hand on that one because I've not looked up. I've not done my fair research on the policies for him on the immigration.
Okay.
I really wanted to just talk about how you felt on the immigration with Kamala
Mhm.
and how that
I feel
she has not been able to do it on her thing pretty much, but Trump is.
I feel if she was the only candidate in the race with any long-term immigration solutions.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. But I also got another question for you.
Okay. Wait, actually, before you do, I got to thank a couple people for the donations. Briar with the $20 super chat on YouTube, and Jasmine with a $20 super chat. 200W Jasmine's, 200W Briar's. Jasmine says, "What you do matters. What you do matters. Keep doing it. Sincerely, another exhausted millennial veteran." Well, thank you so much for your service, Jasmine, as well as thank you so much for the $20 donation. I'd also like to thank Abby and Dandolph, both with the $5 super chats over on YouTube. And then Briar with the 20 says about to teach you lifeguard classes. Wish me luck. Good luck, Briar. And then Avery with the $8, Iris with a 5, Mellis with a 5, and Sage with a 5. I do really appreciate everyone so much for the donations. I'd also like to thank Miles with the $3 over on Venmo. Thank you so much. As well as Savannah with a $5 on PayPal. And then Eli with a $20 on PayPal. That is ELY. 200 W's for ELY down below. ELY says, "My best friend Eric and I watch you every day. We appreciate you so much." Thank you so much, ELY. That is awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyways, what is up, Alec? Go ahead and continue with what you're saying. You've now gone on pause. I think that he may be running away. Oh,
I was
he's
actually
back.
looking at my work schedule. Sorry, brother.
All right, so take it away, man.
So I actually kind of wrote it. So with the past 4 years, we have had incline, a major, actually not in the past 4 years, the past 7 years, 8 years, we've had a massive decline in education and all that. What policies did your president have for increasing that?
Yeah, I don't think that Kamala Harris had any direct education policies. However, I believe that her policies would have indirectly benefited education by increasing the quality of life for more people. Like for instance, she wanted to increase the child tax credit to $5,000 per year for the first child for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 a year from the years of 2 to 5, then $3,000 per year for the age of 5 to 17. This would have taken more families out of poverty and would have reduced childhood poverty by upwards of 40%. When we have less families with children that are focused on just trying to scrape by, get the bare means to live, and there's children in our school that are going without lunch, this decreases educational outcomes, and that was proved in Minnesota. So by increasing the child tax credit to make sure that there's more children living in poverty across our country that have access to the bare necessities, such as a lunch and a meal at school, that will promote better educational outcomes. And I also do believe that it's important to denote something that the Biden-Harris did by attempting to cancel out some student debt. They were inevitably successful with that to some degree. And then I also feel like it's important to point out that not dismissing and trying to get rid of the Federal Department of Education is a start. And of course, that's something that Donald Trump has disregarded and he wants to get rid of. As well as his economic policy promotes worse outcomes for those in the low and the middle class, anybody making under $395,000 per year, and worse economic outcomes lead to lower qualities of lives. Lower qualities of lives lead to worse educational outcomes. And that is why I believe that our country would have had better educational outcomes under Kamala Harris compared to Donald Trump.
Okay, so ask me this question. What party made the Board of Education?
What party made the Board of Education?
Democrats.
I believe it. Makes sense.
And so tell me that why the Democrats made this Board of Education to make kids smarter
it's a department.
to do all this.
It's the Federal Department of Education, by the way.
Sorry, it's useless, so I don't really pay attention to it. So for the past however long we've been paying taxes for this department, why are we still so far below any country when we spend $6 trillion every year?
Yeah, because I think that our public education systems need major fucking reform. But I don't believe that the reform we need is disregarding and dismantling the Federal Board of Education.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that I think that we do need like a bare bones. Don't interrupt me. I think that we do need a bare bones federal system to ensure that like curriculum is adequate and appropriate for children in all 50 states.
That was for the board.
Would you allow me to finish?
That was their job.
Would you allow me to finish?
What you're saying is proving what I'm saying, though.
It's not if you'd allow me to finish.
Okay, go ahead. Sure.
Yeah, what I believe that we do need a bare bones system on the federal level to ensure that children across all 50 states have standardized curriculum and adequate means insofar as school by school funding. I do understand that the outcomes of the Department of Education have not been as good as I'd like them to be. I think that the Department of Education, alongside public schools in general, need major fucking reform. Nobody disagrees there. If anybody does disagree, they're just simply incoherent. However, reform is not equivalent to dismantling and getting rid of the Federal Department of Education. I believe that those outcomes will only become worse if that were to occur.
So you don't think that the state shouldn't control what their kids learn?
I don't think that the state should control everything that their kids learn. I think that we should have some bare bones base standardization of curriculum.
So you think that the government should have more power over people than the other way around?
So, I mean, actually, I'm pretty sure that like ensuring like basic rights and access to some forms of curriculum in all 50 states is giving more power to the people and taking more power out of the hands of state governments to restrict fundamental rights, such as like specialized education programs for special needs students. I do not think that any state should have the ability to deny like special education plans to special needs students. I believe that is something that will promote drastic and terrible outcomes, and actually do find that to be a violation of the rights of children across our country, as access to education is a human right. And if a state cannot provide adequate access to education, especially for special needs students, that is a violation of one's human right. And I do believe that that should be protected and enshrined on the federal level.
But the thing, it hasn't been. That's my point. It hasn't been.
So
you want it.
So the argument. So the argument
It's been here for so long, and you want it to be like this, but it hasn't.
I'll go ahead and I've already said this. I've already said this 2 to 3 times, and you haven't addressed it. My argument is not that. It's not true that it hasn't been, because it has been. It just hasn't been protected well. Okay, I do not believe that the curriculum standards are up to par. But once again, I believe that the adequate solution to that is to reform the Department of Education, not to get rid of it. I believe that getting rid of it will produce better outcomes.
Multiple times.
I believe that reforming it will produce better outcomes, and I believe that getting rid of it will produce worse outcomes.
Beg to differ on that.
Okay, why?
Why? Because where you live, like city, not country, state-wise?
I live in Colorado.
Colorado? I live in South Carolina.
Okay, I have a question. What are the educational outcomes of red states compared to blue states?
I wasn't even going at that, buddy.
I was just hinting at the fact that Republicans are really bad at managing education. So we probably shouldn't listen to a Republican and what they say about access to education. Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas, 5th, 45th, 46th, 47th. What about Massachusetts? They're blue. All counties. Where do they rank?
Okay.
Number 1.
They rank number 1?
Yeah.
Well, if you also point out, every major blue state has more taxable income and more money is sent for their schools. While in South Carolina, my schools are barely scraping by and having any proper utensils and equipment that were actually meant to be provided by the Board of Education. Sorry, got it there.
Well, you're exactly right. Okay, you're exactly right. And the educational standards in like red states are barely scraping by because Republicans are significantly less willing than Democrats to allocate funding to social services.
Thank you for muting me and interrupting me.
One moment, including education. And what happens through a federal Department of Education is blue states end up subsidizing the education of red states, and that's yet another reason why we shouldn't get rid of it. Apologize for interrupting you. There's just such an important point to make. I won't interrupt you again. I do understand that that is not fun. He ran. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to the next guest. If you're MAGA, go ahead and just spam MAGA down below in that chat, and we'll get you up here for a conversation. Then I'd also like to thank Holly with the $2 over on Venmo. Shout out Holly. Miles with the $3 on Venmo. Shout out Miles. And then Kelly with the $20 donation over on PayPal, saying thank you for the best discussions. Quite frankly, I'm so happy I found you in Parker. I listen to you every day. Thank you for the love, Kelly. That is Kelli. Everybody in both of the live chats, both over on YouTube and on TikTok, spam W Kelly down below while we get that next guest up in the box. If you're watching and you'd like to support me, support the stream, and keep it going every single day for 4 hours without interruption, feel free to support me through the Venmo and the PayPal, which you can find in the link tree in the bio. What is up? Did you vote for Trump?
Hello? Hi. I actually want to know why you
All right. I'm going to go ahead and assume that's a no. So we're going to go to move on to the next guest, everyone. We got Edwin loading up in the box. If you are in that queue, make sure you voted for Trump. And if you're one of the 6.4 thousand people in the live, guys, make sure that you're double tapping on that phone screen. What's up, Edwin? Did you vote for Trump? And also Jessica with a $5 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you.
Yes, I sure did.
All right, Mr. Edwin. And why is that? Why'd you do it?
I have many reasons. I just want to add, like, you were talking about with the earlier guest about immigration. I want to put you in a predicament and see if you can get out of it.
Okay,
So
but
basically,
real quick, I want to ask you, what time is it?
2:31.
Oh, shit. What state are you in?
Well, it's kind of the western part of North Dakota.
Is North Dakota Mountain, y'all? It's a very small
Yes.
time zone.
Well, some parts of it is, yes. So I just want to add, like,
Yeah.
So
Have you been
basically-
up here before?
Yes, but don't kick me. I want to ask you a question.
Okay, ask your question, then I'm going to kick you.
Okay, so basically, you own this big company. Like, you don't, but I'll just take this for an example. And the company's doing well, but you notice that a lot of your workers that you have some are illegal. Like some of your higher uppers are doing fraudulent shit, but yet your company is slowly making money. But you notice that maybe in like 10, 20 years, that's all going to go to shit because all the workers are illegal, like most of them, not all of them, but most of them. And there's fraudulent shit going on in your company. Would you just continue hiring illegals, or would you kick them out and
Wait,
start?
there's nothing fraudulent about hiring undocumented migrants that work through a W-2 on an ITIN. What's fraudulent about that?
I said illegal immigrants. I didn't say undocumented migrants.
Sir, I use the term undocumented migrants to refer to individuals that did not enter into America with use of legal means.
Hmm. Well, even that's not basically, if that's all it's starting to look like, your company's just basically.
Can you answer my question? What's fraudulent about hiring an undocumented migrant that works as a W-2 employee on an ITIN?
There isn't.
Okay, so when you're saying there's a company that's hiring undocumented migrants and is doing this fraudulent shit, well, it's not fraudulent shit.
Well, I'm talking about like maybe your superintendent. I'm referring to the U.S. government. Some parts of it are doing a bunch of fraudulent shit, stealing money and all this stuff.
Okay, so
but yet
there's
your
a company that has employees that does fraudulent shit behind the scenes. Okay, where are we going with this? Okay, all that I know so far is there's a company that hires people that's doing fraud. And what's the question?
Oh, it's not the company it's basically the people in the company are stealing money from you that you could be making, but yet you're still getting.
Wait, how does that happen? Are you saying like the corporate execs are giving themselves super high wages and then just taking it out?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm working for an American company. What's the question?
You own the company. What do you do? Do you
wait? I own the company. Wait, I thought they were saying it was the execs that were stealing money from me. Well, they can't be stealing money from me if I'm the exec.
Your superintendent manages the money.
Okay, so I've like
your vice president manages.
So I own a company, and I've like an accountant that's like taking my money. Okay.
Where
are we going with this?
Whatever. I don't have the time to explain it to you.
Bro,
you have
dude,
too much of a low IQ.
Yo,
I'm basically explaining the
Yo,
U.S.
hey. Devour feculence, Edwin. Do you know what that means? It means eat shit. We're going to kick them and move on. Everyone just give us a minute. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that comment section if you want to come up and debate, y'all. Everyone just go ahead and give us a minute. I don't know what the fuck that was, but I'm pissed. He wasted my time and then said that I have a like. What a mean guy. What a mean guy. All right. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in the chat. Severance mention, Mr. Milkshake. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna get that next guest up in here, y'all. Everyone do just go ahead and be patient, y'all. Somebody in the comment section says rude. Yeah, that was kind of the point. He was mean to me, so I was mean to him. Go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that comment section if you want to come up and debate. Once again, if you want to support the stream, you can support me via Venmo and PayPal, which you can find the link tree in the bio. 100% of the over on those platforms. So I could shout you out and read out a message. You could also find that in the pinned message over on the YouTube stream, or you could also support via Super Chat. But go ahead and drop a MAGA down below in that comment section if you want to come up and debate, and we will pull you up here We're just still looking for that next guest. We're still looking for that next Trump supporter. It's proved to be quite difficult to find one. What's up, Ollie? How old are you?
Hello, mate. How are you?
What?
Oh, sorry. Did you say? I thought you said, "How are you?" Rather
Oh,
than "Hello, how are you?"
I'm
No,
doing so
saying,
good. You're British.
yeah, I'm from the UK, mate. Yeah.
You are like the most British person I've ever spoken to. We're only here to talk to people that voted for Trump. We're gonna move on to the next guest. You guys, if you're in that queue, make sure that you voted for Trump, y'all. We got our next guests, Big Nads and Keegan, loading in. What's up, Big Nads? Did you vote for Trump?
Yo, yeah, I did. What's up?
What's going on, man? Keegan, did you vote for Trump?
I did. Hello?
Are you talking to me through like a like a handheld
I'm
radio?
in my car. I'm sorry. I'm in my car. I'm sorry.
Oh, can you disconnect the Bluetooth?
Is that better?
Yeah, much better. All right. Are you driving, by the way, Keegan? Okay, well, I don't know. It's just you, Mr. Big. What did you vote for Trump? Or actually, I already asked
I
you.
would.
Keegan.
I voted for Trump.
Yeah, real quick.
You know the
Keegan,
US
Keegan, are you still driving?
I'm in the passenger.
Perfect. Kay, did
Hello?
you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to do a 1v3. So there's 3 Trump supporters on the panel. We got Kay, Keegan, and Big Nads. Take it away, you guys. Tell me why you support the Orange Menace. Don't everyone talk at once now.
I have a question for you.
Why do you support Trump?
Kay, I don't support Trump.
That's good.
You told me you did. Wouldn't you say that's a bad thing?
Wait, so who do you support then?
I voted for Kamala Harris.
How come? Out of curiosity.
Good question. It's because I believe that she had better policy than Donald Trump, both domestic and foreign, as well as she had significantly better character. That's why.
I can agree with the character part for sure.
So why did you vote for Trump?
I didn't vote.
Okay. Let's talk about border security real quick, okay? So let's talk first about how the border crossings were much higher in Biden and Harris era, but during Trump's era, he enforced immigration law and he prioritized border wall construction. What do you think about that?
I will give you a response to what you said if you be honest. Are you ready?
No.
Did you read that off of ChatGPT? He left! Keegan, it's just you. We went from 3-1 with a lift of my finger.
All right. I did vote for Trump, and I just got a quick question for you. The idea of Doge, do you think the idea is good? I think the execution is very poor, but I like the idea behind it.
Oh, I actually love the idea behind Doge. I'm so behind the idea of being more critical of the money that our government is spending, where they're spending it, and how it might be able to be more efficient. I mean, like, listen, man, if the government is going to take 35% of my paycheck without, any type of oversight, without any type of consent, etc., and just turn around and spend it, I think that we should be pretty critical of that. We should have a close eye on it. The idea is great. It's just the execution of the idea that's terrible.
I agree. Okay. I'm glad we can find common ground there.
That is absolutely common ground. Transparency matters.
So, one more thing. I think letting Trump run for a 3rd term would be a fantastic idea. And I know, no. I know that sounds stupid, but hear me out. Who else could run for a 3rd term, Dean?
Well, I mean, in accordance with the legislation set forth by the Republican congressman at the beginning of Donald Trump's term, it would only be Donald Trump, not Barack Obama's you'd be hitting.
Damn it! Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Listen. Fascism aside, dictatorship aside, authoritarianism aside, anti-patriotic values aside, why did you vote for Trump?
I don't really like to align with MAGA. For me personally, I think the Republican Party and MAGA are its own entity. MAGA is interesting. to say the least. I find myself more central.
Sorry, you guys. He was kind of yapping. He sounded chill though. I mean, like he sounded like a chill guy. All right. He's just kind of yapping. So we're gonna go to move on, everyone. Just give us a moment to get that next guest up in here. If you're MAGA, make sure to let me know in that comment section. He was very yappy, very yappy. We're gonna try to get Billy up here. Everyone, just give us a minute, y'all. If you're MAGA, let me know in that comment section. We'll get you up here for a debate. Yeah, just looking for some conversations. Looking for some conversations as per usual. All right, what is up, Nixon? Did you vote for Trump?
Hell yeah.
All right, how old are you?
18.
18. Oh my God. Blake with the $100 super chat on YouTube. Oh my gosh. Mr. Blake says, I've shared your page with friends, all late 30s, and you inspire hope in these dark times and the youth in the future of the U.S. Look forward to watching your political trajectory. Keep your fans talking points with friends/family and keep crushing these MAGA trolls. Blake, that is such a kind, well thought out message. Thank you so much for the incredibly kind, thoughtful message, as well as the $100 donation. I want to see so many W. Blakes in the chats, it's unbelievable. Nothing but W. Blake in the chat for at least the next 5 minutes. That is such an incredibly kind donation, Blake. Thank you so much. But anyways, back to you, sir. Why did you vote for Trump?
For national security.
Okay, tell me why. What about it?
Yo, could you do me a favor? Could you check your Instagram DMs?
Sure. What is up with the word guess? I just want to debate. What does he tell me to check my Instagram DMs for? I don't even want to know. I do have a tendency to read through my DMs when I'm bored, though. We're just gonna kick him and move on, guys. If you're MAGA, let me know in that chat. We'll get you up here for a conversation. People are being weird today, bro. People are just being weird today. All right, man. We're gonna get that next guest. We got CG, sorry, loading up into the box. Here we go, everyone. What's up? Oh, he hasn't loaded in quite yet. What's up, CG?
How you doing?
Doing all right, man. You vote for Trump?
I did.
Don, thank you so much for the galaxy. Is that a... Okay, all right. Tell us why.
Well, I think it's really good that he wants to pull out of NATO. Not necessarily pulling out of NATO, but I think keeping our allies accountable for their defense spending is a good thing.
Okay, so I just want to clarify that you said you think it's a good idea that he wants to pull out of NATO, but then not necessarily pull out of NATO. So you contradicted yourself in the first 5 seconds of the first sentence you spoke on this live. Where do we go from here?
I miscommunicated that.
Okay.
I just think holding our allies accountable is a good idea.
Okay, you're just saying that like you're happy that he was able to influence like another 6 countries in NATO to up their expenditure on their own militaries. Okay, I'm not gonna say that was like a bad thing that Donald Trump did. I just don't really see how it's too significant.
I didn't vote for Trump.
Okay. What's up with all the weird guests today, man? What's going on, dude? What's going on? Amber, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube saying, Dean, please do an extra hour or so tonight. We'll see, man. We'll see. I went live really early today. Then also Squiggly Bet. What a weird name. Squiggly Bet. Thank you for the $2 over on YouTube Super Chat. I appreciate everybody that's been donating today. You guys have been so incredibly kind. If you're watching and you voted for Trump, you know the drill. Drop a MAGA in that chat. We'll get you up here for a debate. And that's about it. But yeah, guys, if you're one of the 7.5 thousand people watching, let's try to get up to 1 million likes. So start double tapping. What's going on?
Yo.
Did you vote for Trump?
I was thinking about it. As of right now, I'm not like old enough to. And I just wanted to ask
Edis! I'm so sorry, man. You got to be at least 18 to be on TikTok Live, and the only way you could possibly be not old enough to support Donald or vote for Donald Trump is if you're under the age of 18. So we have to kick you, and I'm so sorry. What is up, Pierce? Come back, baby. Don't go on pause. Don't leave me. Don't leave me, baby. No! Come back. Pierce, come back. Pierce, you patriot. You American patriot, get your booty back here right now. His profile picture is like AI. It says Trump Pence. I mean, I just really want to talk to this guy. I think I scared him away with how excited I am, though, man. Unfortunate. We scared him away, you guys. Dusty with the 10 pounds over on YouTube Super Chat saying, I absolutely love your lives and will always look forward to them. Thank you for the love, Dusty. What's up, King? You vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
Phenomenal. All right. Somebody in the chat just said, stop kicking people for no reason. Bro, he left on his own accord. I didn't do that shit. King, why'd you vote for Trump?
Because he's a better president than Kamala Harris would be. Why won't you debate Andrew Wilson?
I've actually talked to Andrew Wilson once. He requested that I put a blindfold on myself, which was weird.
you can't.
And then we had a conversation for like 30 minutes that was completely pointless and infuriated me because he was dodging my question. Now that I've answered your question,
without help, right?
Do you think I'm debating with help right now?
Well, I mean, I'm sure we've all seen you debate with Parker in your live, with other people in your live.
So sometimes I debate with friends. Okay, I'm not doing that today. I get so. This
And
was
who was the one helping you
So
in
King,
that
I just want to clarify.
small
This was
debate?
a really bad day for you to try to make that argument because this happens to be one of the days when I'm not chilling with Barker.
Oh, the only single day.
Yeah, I debate with him a lot. I think it's fun. But why do you think that Donald? Wait, actually, I want you to expose to the people that I can't debate without help. I have no help today, and I'm debating you. Tell us why Donald Trump made a better president than Kamala Harris.
Economic reasons, global diplomatic reasons.
Okay. So let's start with economic reasons. I think that you're wrong. I think that you're very, very wrong. The reason why I think that you're wrong is because after just 2 months of Donald Trump's presidency and his enactment of tariffs, what we've seen is the Atlanta Fed has gone from projecting a 4% growth in the American GDP in the first financial quarter of 2025 to a negative 3.7% recess. We've institutes such as JP Pierce, the JP Morgan, as well as other institutes and banks such as the Atlanta Fed, in which I've already mentioned, that are now projecting a heightened risk of a recession, as well as that we see that his economic policy as a whole takes money from the poor and gives it to the rich. This is according to the Institute on Taxation and Economics that indicate that anybody making under $395,000 per year will have less purchasing power under Donald Trump's
Are you just
administration.
gonna diatribe, dude? Like, seriously? I don't really care about your opinions on economics.
Okay, well, tell me why my opinions are wrong.
Can we like bullet point them like one by one at least?
Sure, I could give you bullet points. So Kamala Harris's tax plan was better for overall GDP growth in America, as well as for the average quality of life for American citizens, contrasted to Trump's that has slowed GDP growth, has sent America barreling towards a recession, has reduced consumer confidence, sending the stock market in a free fall, while taking
How's
money
that?
from poor people and giving it to rich people.
How does it reduce consumer confidence when he has obviously had lower prices on everything in his economy plan?
So so his policy that has reduced consumer confidence is going to be his blanket tariffs. It creates a lot of uncertainty in the global markets as well as in future markets, and then like the retaliatory offenses from other countries like France, like the UK, like all of the EU, Mexico, and Canada reduce consumer confidence in our own markets, which drops
How
our
does it
stock
reduce?
markets
Can I respond? How does it reduce consumer confidence in American markets?
because it creates
Internet.
uncertainty of what's to come.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, of course it does.
No, it's going to bring American companies back to America.
Wait,
It's gonna-
wait. Are you denying that it's created a lack of consumer confidence? Under your view, what has been causing the very quick free falls in the American stock market and an institution such as the Atlanta Fed to project the thought that we are entering into a recession? Why is it
Are
happening?
you talking about the Dow being down before he signed the tariffs policy?
I'm talking about the quickest drops in the U.S. stock market since 2008, both before as well as today and last night. But what I'm asking you here is, if it hasn't led to a reduction in consumer confidence, well, then what has caused the Atlanta Fed to go from projecting 4% growth in our GDP to a negative 3.7% recess?
Can you explain what the Atlanta Fed is?
Yeah, the Atlanta Fed is just literally the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. But I appreciate you for the non sequitur. Now, please answer my question.
I honestly I haven't heard that term in a while. So you're worried. So you're using the Federal Reserve numbers to
It's a private bank in Atlanta, yeah.
prove how consumer confidence is down across America.
So it's just one of the indicators, but I feel as if it's an incredibly strong one.
It's a very elitist take, but okay.
Wait, how is it? No, it's an informed take.
I mean, I thought
when we have like financial institutions indicating that like we're gonna have slow GDP growth, and it's not just the Atlanta Feds, but it's also like JP Morgan, as well as Goldman Sachs and other financial institutions, including the institutions on taxation and economics.
Do
And
you
then
think the
global
average American
institutions as
thinks
well. And
about?
Of course, we're gonna
Do you
see.
think the average American cares about the Federal Reserve's GDP growth? No.
Okay, so you're just saying that you don't care about it?
I'm saying, do you think the average American
See,
cares
this
about it?
is why if I was you, I wouldn't have come up on my live stream and made the claim that I can't debate, because you're getting absolutely destroyed right now. I've literally reduced you down to saying that you just simply don't care about the fact that we're entering
All
into
you've done is
recession.
diatribe, bro, and now you're just attacking me. Like that's really
What's a diatribe?
You can't even
What's a diatribe?
debate without cheating, bro.
What's a diatribe?
Diatribe is when you go on long explanations without going into at any points that you're actually trying to make a point on.
Okay.
You're explaining a bunch of nonsense, basically.
So I do it. Do I need polka dot paper and crayons?
I mean, yeah, that would probably help your audience understand a lot of your diatribes a lot.
I'm not talking about my audience, sir. I'm talking about you.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I am part of your audience.
So Donald Trump economic policy, bad. Take money from poor people, give money to rich people, and reduce consumer confidence, which barrels us towards a recession. And
You haven't even
crashes your stock
proved.
markets.
You haven't even proved that it reduces consumer confidence. You just say that it does. You expect everybody to just take your opinion for belief or fact.
So his economic policy has reduced consumer confidence. My evidence for this is before the implementation of the policy, we saw high levels. After the implementation of the policy, we saw low levels. And then on top of that, for a more correlative explanation, it's because the introduction of the tariffs has created uncertainty in the market, as we have no clue how other countries around the world will respond, on top of the fact that we have no clue how long they're going to remain in place or exactly what his intentions are behind putting them in place, as he's already placed and revoked tariffs on Canada 3 times. So this is
Can I
all the
respond?
evidence of a lack of confidence in the market due to a lack of solid future prospects, which kills futures and
So-
reduces overall confidence.
The American consumer market is bigger than Canada. It's bigger than Europe's combined. State by state, you can improve that economy just by placing these tariff policies on other countries that have the exact same tariffs as we're giving them.
You're pivoting. And then also know you're lying.
No, I'm explaining how you're saying that reducing consumer confidence is bullshit. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I don't think that you were... No, you just argued that the tariffs were good. You didn't argue that they didn't reduce consumer confidence. But you also lied. You said that we're just imposing reciprocal tariffs on other countries that already have those same tariffs imposed on us. That's not true. What tariffs has Canada charged America to warrant a quote-unquote reciprocal tariff of 25% 25% tax on all goods imported outside of oil?
I mean, we can pull off the tariff spreadsheet. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head. I don't have ChatGPT pulled up.
Are you talking about like Trump's tariff spreadsheet? Wait, did you just say that I have ChatGPT pulled up?
I know you usually do.
All right, well, go ahead and look down at the bottom right-hand corner. This is my phone. There's my laptop. It's open to my YouTube stream. There's my computer screen. Right there's TikTok, and right there's OBS.
I can't see that, dude. That's like 2 millimeters big.
Wait, I mean, you could see enough to obviously indicate that I don't have ChatGPT open on any of my monitors.
I mean, you could have several tabs pulled up, bro.
I literally picked, but you could see my hands on the TikTok
can
screen.
tab over.
I didn't move.
Like the click of a button, bro.
I didn't take my hands to touch.
I didn't.
So King, I didn't take my hands to touch anything on the computers. As soon as you said that I was using ChatGPT, I picked up my phone and turned on my camera. You're obviously gauging in speculative conspiracy theory because you simply cannot come to the terms with the fact that you're getting dog walked by a 20-year-old that knows more than you ever will on politics. I hate to be harsh. I hate to be
What about the
brash.
time you said
And
that you're an
honestly,
award-winning-
99% of the time, I come on live. I'm here for good intellectual discourse. But honestly, that goes straight out the fucking window, and I'll get down and dirty and I'll play in the mud when individuals such as yourself deny reality when I give you sufficient evidence to demonstrate that you're wrong, and then get emotional like a baby and start taking it out
down
on me
and
by
dirty,
accusing me of
Sting.
using ChatGPT.
Oh. Can you even curl 5 pounds? 10 pounds?
You could actually go to my Instagram and look at me.
Oh, you can actually
curl
go
a
to my
lot more than
Instagram
that.
and see me lift fake foam weights. Yeah.
This is the most embarrassing thing you've probably ever done in your
This is
life.
the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in your life.
King, this is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in your life, and you don't even know it.
Bro, nobody knows who I am. You realize that, right? This is TikTok. Everybody's going to forget about this.
Wait, you said that nobody knows who you are? You got that right. I have a question. Do people know who I am?
Are you literally? Are you literally?
1 second. Aubrey, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Thank you for the love, Aubrey. Let's get 500 W Aubreys in all of the live chats. Thank you so much for the love, Aubrey. Holy crap. I want to see so many Aubrey
How many
W's down below in
subscribers
the
do you
live
have on
chat.
YouTube?
Be quiet. 130 if you're curious. 130,000. Started the channel over a month and a half ago. But Aubrey with the $50 says, I just want to say thank you. My best friend, my 11-year-old dog, has terminal bladder cancer. Oh, I'm so sorry, Aubrey. Listening to you has become part of my routine. Well, I'm so happy that you're enjoying the streams, Aubrey. I love you. Everybody else loves you, and I'm so sorry to hear that about your dog. Everybody, please show some love to Aubrey for the $50 donation, as well as Jessica with a 5, Lana with a 2, with a 3, then O with a 2. Would you say W Aubrey real quick for the $50 donation that she sent me, King?
Yeah, W. Audrey.
Very good. Okay,
It's
well,
a sad story.
do you have any other like points about why you voted for Trump that you'd like to debate? I don't mind just completely forgetting about the fact that you act immature and got flamed by me, and just gonna leave that in our past and move on to productive
No,
conversation.
I'm actually pretty fried right now. I'm pretty sure that's L TikTok. So I'm just gonna. I'll take my L.
All right, very nice. We're gonna move on to the next guest. All right, so, Sella, thank you for the galaxy. As well as somebody just sent me $5 on Cash App. What? I've never used Cash App before. That's crazy. Thank you. I didn't even know I had a Cash App. Don't try to, nobody else tried to support me on Cash App, because chances are you will probably be sending it to a fake account. I haven't seen that donation message in so long. Wow. That was like seriously the first Cash App donation notification I've gotten in months. What's up, Celeste? Did you vote for Trump?
Fuck me in my ass!
Got you before you could get it out. That's right. Justine, thank you so much for the $25 over on Venmo. Justine, I really appreciate you for the love. Everybody, please show some love to Justine down below in that comment section right now. Thank you for the love, Justine. Thank you for the love, as well as Alejandro with a 5 and Hannah with a 5 as well. What's going on, Mr. Harvey? We got you up on the live. Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, I did. Why you been messaging my 14-year-old sister, you nonce?
Okay, I've not been messaging.
How old are you?
I've not been messaging your or
Wait,
anybody's.
why have you been messaging minors for?
Okay, one moment, Harvey. If you'd allow me to speak, I've not been messaging any minor. And the fact that MAGA is so fucking desperate to end the fact that Dean Withers is absolutely destroying Republicans on live every single day, that you come up here and you just, if I basically accuse him of being a P3DO, maybe he'll lose his support. Maybe people will stop listening to him. Bro, get a fucking load of that guy. Jesus Christ. And by the way, that is like so insane. I just want to make that so incredibly clear about how insane that is. Because not only is like said like accusation like insane and harmful, okay, to like possibly harmful to me, but it's also very harmful for real victims of, like P3DOs. What's going on, John? Did you vote for Trump? John, go ahead and unmute your mic, please.
That's my fault. I didn't even mean to join.
No worries. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everybody go ahead and spam Agate down below in that chat if you do want to join. Everyone just go ahead and give us one moment, you guys. All right. We're going to get the next guest up in the box right now. We got Melody loading in and Sella. Oh my God. Sella, thank you so much for the $45 over on PayPal. That is literally so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, Sella. That is SELAH. Oh my God. Thank you, Sella. Dude, that is so kind. Everybody, please show some love to Sella. At least 450 Sella W's. That's also a very cool name. Thank you for the love. Seriously, seriously, seriously. All right, you guys. So far today, we've had more people that are willing to come up here and call me a P3DO or say I can't debate and then get mad when I crush them, compared to Trump voters that are actually willing to come up here and have a conversation in good faith. I hope that this speaks very loudly about the lack of reason and confidence in thought that is present on the right. Deep down, they know that their views are wrong, but they just continue to hold to them because of hive mind and to own the libs. Amy, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. Caleb with the $2 on PayPal. And then Annie with the $25 on PayPal. Thank you, Annie. 250 W's for Annie. 250 W's for Annie. Thank you so much. And then Spear with a $20 donation over on YouTube Super Chat as well. And PV with a 10 Canadian dollars. Thank you, Spear and PV. Spear says, without fail, every time you talk to a Trump supporter, I'm reminded of the doc who, quote, later popularized by Adam Savage of Mythbusters, said, and I quote, I reject your reality and submit my own. Keep it up. I appreciate you for the love, Spear. Everybody, spam Agate down below in that chat if you want to join up a debate. We are just seriously looking for debate. And apparently that is the last thing that we get today. People are just unwilling to have a discussion with me in good faith. Absolutely disgusting. What is going on, Cole? Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
All right. Yo, what's up, Nettie? Did you vote for Trump? Nettie, did you vote for Trump?
Sorry, didn't mean to think.
No worries. Cole, it's just you, man. Go ahead and tell us why you support him.
Hey, so like I'm not on here to like start conflict or anything. I respect you a lot, and I respect what you're doing, allowing people to come on here and talk freely. I really respect you as a person.
I appreciate that, Cole. It's very kind.
I was just okay. So I live in Mississippi. You know, it's a very Republican state. My family, everyone around me, you know, I go to a Christian university here in Mississippi, so it's very, you know, Republican based. And I just wanted to ask you the question of why Kamala would have been a better president.
Well, I mean, it's a question that if I was going to explain every single reason would probably take me 5 minutes. In a nutshell, it's just because she had better policy and better character. I could just give you a quick example. Her economic policy, tax cuts for 100 million American workers in the low and middle class, help the poor people get richer. Donald Trump's economic policy, take money away from poor people, give it to rich people, hurts anybody making under $395,000 per year. And I mean, that's just like a pretty intuitive reason. I mean, like foreign affairs, I hope that Donald Trump imposing tariffs on every other piece of land anywhere outside of America demonstrates to you that he's probably not good with the relations with other countries. I mean, now we have like the Prime Minister of Canada saying that the United States era as being the leader in economic global trade is over. And we have the entirety of the EU, France, and so on, considering nuclear options insofar as how they want to respond to these tariffs by completely blocking America from global trade, sanctioning our banks, taxing them too, on top of like many other things. So, I mean, there's like a very short rundown of why his economic policy is pretty bad and why hers was better.
Yeah, absolutely. I can completely agree with everything you've said. Of course, me living in Mississippi, like my main reason for voting for Trump was my culture. I mean, all the area around me, you know, everyone kind of pushes MAGA, and it's kind of hard to escape anything. I mean, everything is centered around Trump around here.
I just have a question. So when you say like your culture, do you just mean like the culture,
like
of
just
the
Mississippian culture,
like the culture of the environment that you're in that's very like pro red?
Yeah. So like I was raised in like a small town.
Yeah. So like your environment. Okay, I understand.
Yes.
That. Like the environment of, you know, like the place where I grew up was incredibly like Republican as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I'm 19 myself. I had turned 18 about 5 months before we could, or 5 months before the year before the election. So, I mean, I'm not anywhere near being like a full adult. I wouldn't consider myself that. I think when you turn 21, you're like a full adult. But I definitely think that some of the things that Trump's doing right now, I don't agree with. Some of the things he said.
Wait, so you think that you're a child before 21? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that Donald Trump
legally,
wanted to, under your view, not the legal view, Donald Trump wanted to date a child?
No.
Yes. He told a 10-year-old girl that he was going to be dating her in 10 years. She'd be 20 at that point. He wanted to date a kid under your view.
I've never seen that.
I'm dead serious. After our conversation, go to YouTube, type in Donald Trump says he wants to date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years.
Oh, I have heard about that. And I don't have like all the facts on that. So like, I don't know what.
It's an audio clip. It's be readily available. But how about this? Do you have any reasons why Trump was a better candidate than Kamala Harris? Because it kind of just seems like you're explaining that you voted a red because of like the environment or society that you live in, and like maybe like the better place for you to be is just kind of listening to the live to get a perspective as somebody that's more liberal.
Yeah. I've been watching your streams for about a month now.
Very
And
nice.
some of the things you say, like I very much agree with. And you are a very intelligent person, and that's why I came on here and wanted to let you know that like I respect you. I didn't want to like come on here and sound like an idiot or anything. I just wanted your opinion and what you had to say.
Well, Cole, I do appreciate you for that, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for your time. Man.
Absolutely, you too.
Have a good one, Mr. Cole. We're going to move on to the next guest, you guys. We are just looking for Trump supporters to debate on why they voted for Trump, everyone. We're going to get that next guest, Mr. Derek, loading up in Danny. Thank you for the $5 donation over on Venmo. Everybody show some love to Danny. If you're watching live right now on YouTube or on TikTok and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo and my PayPal in the link tree in my bio on my TikTok account. Get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms there. Go straight to me and I'll give you a shout out and read off your message as well. And if you don't have Venmo or PayPal and you still like to show some love, you could also donate through Super Chat over on YouTube. Now, what is going on, Mr. Derek? Did you vote for Trump?
Hey, how we doing, man? So I guess the first thing we can talk about is border security.
Oh, all right. All right, Mr. Derek, let's do it. I have a great question. Can I ask you it?
Yeah.
Name one policy Donald Trump has ever passed, wants to pass, or even just talked about on the mic at a podium that will reduce undocumented migration into America in the long term.
Well, for the long term, I think basically his standpoint on deportation, having strict immigration, basically making it not just so easy to get asylum. I think, in essence, intuitively, I would think would bring down illegal immigration long term.
I think that we should probably make the asylum processes easier, not harder. And that would reduce undocumented migration. Like, for instance, the CBP-1 app. This is something that Republicans have taken a really big issue with under the Biden-Harris administration. I mean, have you ever heard like Trump talking about how bad that app is?
I haven't.
Okay, well, he has. And this app, it just gave undocumented migrants updates on when their court appearances were to go through the hearings and the scheduled due process to get a valid asylum claim. The Republicans got rid of this app. I don't know why, but all that it ensures is that more asylum seekers don't know when and where they're supposed to be to undergo their due process, which just increases the likelihood of them missing their court date and becoming an undocumented migrant in our country. So, I mean, if anything, like his policy as it relates to asylum just ensures more undocumented migration.
Yeah. So I think, obviously we want to help people, right? If someone's really in a bad place, they want to start a new opportunity in America. Like, we do love that. But, I think in essence too, it does need to be a little stricter because as we saw, obviously, and I know like
Wait, it's already very
AOC,
strict. Only like 10% of asylum claims are processed and granted. The processes of asylum are so fucking quick. It's just so fucking strict. Sorry.
Well, based off the impression that I've gotten, I would disagree. I know like AOC has talked about it a long time, and there is a legal way to go through asylum, and there's some people who haven't, and I think being strict on that is important. And
Wait, I'm telling you, the asylum processes are so strict. How do you think they need to be more strict?
well, they haven't obviously listen, if we just look at all the numbers from the past 4 years or during Obama, it was at an alarming rate. Like, would you agree that it was too much? It was too easy. Somewhere
much?
there's
No, it's actually the reason why we had so many undocumented migrants going into America was because the legal processes were too hard. That is the root cause of undocumented migration into our country. It's the fact that the legal means of entry are so neglected, are so slow, take years, and are so expensive. Okay? If we want to reduce the amount of undocumented migrants that come into our country, the only solution is to eradicate the incentive for undocumented entry, which is making the legal processes of migration as easy as physically possible. Any other solution is not solving the issue. It's just pushing it down the line. Okay. Like Donald Trump putting the military at the southern border. Guess what? There's still undocumented migrants trying to come into our country. The military is just giving them a harder time. It's a band-aid on a 4-inch incision. I say that we eradicate the issue outright by making as many legal means of entry into America as possible while only screening individuals for prior violent offenses, and then give the undocumented migrants that are already in our country that have not committed violent crimes that same pathway to residency or citizenship. All right? I believe that Donald Trump is not good for immigration. He says no long-term border solutions. Any places America lasts through is mass deportation. Mass deportation sucks for the migrants, sucks for Americans, sucks for our economy. It's bad in every single conceivable sense.
All right, so I'll agree with you. Let's make asylum easier. But I also still think it shouldn't be as easy as physically possible.
Oh, I'm not talking about asylum. I'm talking about permanent residency or
yeah. But
citizenship.
let's just say immigration in general.
Immigration
right?
as
I
a
don't
whole,
think
yeah.
it should. I think I'll agree with you. It should be easier, but I'm not going to say that it should be as easy as physical possible. I'll say two things that come to mind real quick is economic reasons, and then second, yeah. So, I mean, if you look into like unemployment rates and like if you were to like go into basically scenario like analysis, when you like have a flood of workers or a surplus of workers, it could actually bring economic downturn and yeah. And then for the I can't get too specific on it. That was something I would suggest doing research for yourself.
It won't create a surplus because a natural equilibrium will be found. Okay, we need to treat entry into the labor force as just as a term of economics. There will be a point where individuals will be migrated into America, and an equilibrium insofar as an adequate amount of laborers for jobs provided in our country will be met, and anybody else coming into our country will lead to a lower quality of life, so individuals won't want to come into our country. And I mean, that's a fact. But so far what we've seen is undocumented migration into America under Biden and Harris has only led to positive economic outcomes, only helps to increase the size of that labor force, to provide more jobs to more American companies, to industrialize the manufacturing sector of our country more, which is seemingly a sentiment held by Republicans. I mean, shit, that's why you guys want to do the tariffs. So if anything, what we could argue right now is that more immigration is needed. I mean, do you agree with mass deportation over mass amnesty?
That's a good question. Hard for me to say either yes or no.
Okay,
but
I need an answer.
Just to go off your earlier point about the equilibrium, I guess my whole argument would be that it would mess up the equilibrium. And yes, eventually, right, like things correct themselves, the equilibrium will be.
Do you think that we should limit the birth rates?
But there would still be just like right now, like.
Should we limit the birth rates of
the economic downturn?
Should we limit the birth rates? No, it's only, dude. The only outcome of immigration in all of American history has been positive for our economy. There's never been an economic downturn. Tell me one way that undocumented migrants in our country right now are harming the economy.
Well, I don't think you can just base it solely on immigration, but there's other factors, and I think.
No, tell me one way that
I think
migrants are
unlimited immigration.
Just answer my question. Can you identify a single way that undocumented migrants in America today hurt the American economy?
Off the top of my head, no, I cannot.
Because they don't. They only help it. All right, and then if it's about like limiting immigration because we don't want a surplus of laborers, should we also limit the birth rate of American citizens because we don't want a surplus of laborers?
Well, I would argue that Americans need to give more birth, but
Oh, wait, so tell me why we need less people coming into America from other countries, but we need more people being born from Americans in our country. This is no longer an economic argument, as both of those two things would lead to the same outcome, which is more laborers in the labor force. You disagree with it as it would apply to immigration, but you want more of it as it would apply to all citizens that are already here. Why?
So I guess my second point would also be in like probably I'm trying to like not sound crazy when I say this, but also like preservation of culture as well. Not wait before you take that and run with it. I'm not saying like only Americans. Let's not let anyone in. But I mean, when you let a whole influx of people like that it doesn't mix well. Like you basically, like, I feel like you kind of want like open borders, but
I'm so sorry. What's the culture that I have a question?
People.
What's the culture that you want to preserve?
I don't know. I don't know.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
American culture.
What is?
I mean, I don't want to like.
But like, what is?
Let's say if we only
what,
let's say we
what?
only
No.
let
Listen to me.
Americans-
One
let's say we
moment.
only
Stop talking. Give me an
Alright,
example of American culture.
Okay. I think. Well, mannerisms. You can go. You could also say.
What mannerisms? You gotta be much more specific.
Christianity. I mean, like let's. I'm just
Christianity.
Let's just be straight.
So an
Like,
example
we
of
do
American
things
culture is
differently than
Christianity.
Central American.
Okay, so so you're telling me an example of American culture is Christianity. Anything else?
There's a lot of things.
Like what?
Christianity. I think. Autonomous government. Freedom. Constitution. Whole constitution in itself.
Wait. You're telling me that more individuals coming into our country through immigration will erode our constitution? What?
No, but
Okay, so immigrants don't serve. So immigrants don't serve as a threat to that part of our culture. So what's the other part of our culture that they serve? So far you've been able to name Christianity. Anything else?
Okay, my point.
No, I want you to be
is
specific
that
because you seriously got to fucking tell me, because I'm going to be honest, sir, and this is just me speaking my mind. When you tell me that you want to preserve the culture of America and one of the indicators that you use here is Christianity, it sounds like you're just trying to fucking preserve white culture, okay? Like whatever white culture is.
Well, Christianity.
But I would like to say here, like apart from that being like just like evidently like fucking racist and bigoted, like what the hell is white culture? Like I just like what is white culture? What do white people got? You know what I mean? Like, oh dude, you wanna preserve taking the 22 out to the mountain and killing an elk? Oh, dude, you want to preserve the big old lifted F-150s and the small dicks? I can't say that on TikTok. Like, I just don't even know what it means, bro. It's like, you know what? If you're going to sit here and tell me that we need to stop immigration into America to preserve this culture, that in all reality, you're just talking about white culture, whatever that is. I want you to never eat any food produced or that originates from any country outside of America ever again. Okay? Every single dish from Latin America, say goodbye. Never eat it again. You're eroding white culture. Chimichurri sauce from Argentina, the best possible sauce to put on a steak. Never eat it again. You're eroding white culture. Makes no goddamn sense to me. And I mean, those are just like my pragmatic thoughts on top of the obvious blatant racism. Go ahead. Derek, you could unmute now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So my point was trying to say is, I believe that you, in essence, you want open borders, but just not the bad people, right? Let's keep the bad people where they are. But you want basically free flow of immigration.
Are you?
My whole point on the preservation. I will point on the preservation part, which first off, I didn't say white culture. I said American culture.
Well, American culture is a culture of a melting pot of cultures across the globe. I don't think
I
that like
agree,
I don't
but
I don't
there's
think that
still,
America
I agree with
I
you.
seriously don't think that America has a unique specific like identity of culture. I really don't think it is. Like maybe you might be able to argue like this like the Super Bowl, but outside of the Super Bowl, like I don't really know what you'd be arguing. It's a melting pot of cultures
No, actually,
like across America. Across the world. You know what I mean?
I do get what you're saying. Like our culture is a blend of every other culture, and I totally agree with that. But there's still, in essence, I guess we disagree that there's an American. I think there's an American culture. There's a British culture.
So explain
There's,
American culture.
An Austrian culture and the German culture. They both still speak German, right? There's still different things, right? I think there's an American culture. But what I'm trying to say is, if you had free flowing borders, like
No. Okay,
across
then I just want you to
the-
explain what American culture is to me.
I don't know why you're like so hung up on
Because
that.
I don't think you can, because I don't think it really exists too much. What do we got?
Well,
like
I
Super Bowl and
think-
NASCAR?
I think our founding principles and freedoms, I would put that along with American culture.
Okay.
I think that's solely American.
Okay, well then
You know?
shit. I guess that Donald Trump serves as the largest threat to American culture in modern American history, as he serves to the largest threat to the American Constitution in modern American history. But I mean, if you're not talking about the Constitution as it exists today, but you're rather referring to the freedoms and liberties in which America was founded on, I have a question. When America was founded, what freedoms and liberties did Black people in America have? What freedoms and liberties did indigenous people in America have? What freedoms and liberties did women in America have?
They didn't have any.
Right. So are you saying that we should preserve a culture in which doesn't offer any freedoms and liberties to anybody but rich white men?
No, actually.
Okay, so then obviously you're so if you define American culture as the freedoms and liberties in which our country was founded on, you
that's such a
actively
shallow way to
advocate
look at
for the erosion of American culture the moment you say that like everybody should have freedoms and liberties, not just specifically rich white guys. So maybe we could agree here. We want to erode American culture in the sense that you defined it of the freedoms, values, and liberties that this country was founded upon, because they were very bad. They were sour. They were evil. They were colonists. They were racist. They were sexist.
Yes. Well, I want to make one point too. Actually, like when they were actually making the Constitution, a lot of the founding fathers actually wanted to eradicate slavery, but they didn't, just to preserve the 13 colonies. So just to say that there are people back then, not everyone was for slavery, just so you know. But
I'm not so sure if that's the case. Would you be able to give me evidence of that?
I don't know. You can look it up. Can I look it up? No.
Well, I mean, all that I know is that the first
I
president
can't give
of our
you like
country
an
was a slave
MLA
owner.
citation right now, but
I just want to make it like incredibly clear that the first president of our country was a slave owner, and like the founding fathers and other white men at the conception
Samuel
of
Adams wasn't a slave owner.
at the conception of our country, kind of treated slavery like we treat cars now. It's just a mode of economic productivity. They seriously did not view Black people as people. They did not give them human rights. They didn't care. That's a fact. They looked at enslaved Africans the same way we look at cars. Mode of economic mobility to be more efficient in the production of economic output.
So I totally agree with you. Slavery bad. I think it's totally wrong to have prejudice against certain groups of people. Totally agree with you. But the founding of America, the Constitution, yes, that was a part of it, and it's a part of American history, unfortunately. But if you look at it objectively, the Constitution, what the founding fathers, I mean, it totally goes against that. It gives that, availability for people to have that, mobility. I mean, if it wasn't for the Constitution,
I
you could
wouldn't
maybe argue that
I wouldn't
it
argue.
would have been never an idea to abolish slavery.
Listen, like the values that you're calling American in the sense of freedom and liberty for all, some would argue still don't exist, and most would argue has been a eventual progression and change over the course of our country. Like this wasn't a value enshrined in the founding fathers or generations of individuals to follow our founding fathers. This was a value fought for by marginalized communities in America, such as Black Americans, such as women, such as Latino Americans, such as
would
Indigenous
disagree.
Americans. And it had absolutely nothing to do with the values upheld by the founders of this country. But if your argument
disagree.
is you disagree,
I would.
dude. So it's just a correlation causation fallacy, MLK and the Civil Rights Act of 1957 and 1964. Like
Well,
obviously those still
well, I
would have passed
disagree
if
with-
people like MLK didn't
Listen,
exist.
like-
People like Malcolm X didn't exist. People like Rosa Parks didn't
You
exist.
think
It obviously
everyone
still
like?
happened.
You think everyone like in 1775? Do you think the general population thought slavery was cool and okay? Do you?
So
I
many
mean, if
people
you
in the
don't read the
genuine,
Bible,
so
which they did,
so many people in the
it'd be
general
hard to believe.
population thought that it was so cool that they were willing to die for it. It started a civil war.
Well, I'm not saying there wasn't an amount of people, but listen, like it's not the foundation of America. I mean, to convolute or to merge that, I think is just a shallow way of looking at it.
I think the only shallow perspective that's being discussed right now is yours denying the fact that this country was founded on human rights violations, oppression, and slavery.
I don't think it was
just
founded
find
on-
it.
I
I don't.
think-
I
I
don't
think
just. I
human
don't
rights
just
are-
find it
I think it-
shallow. I find it incredibly harmful because the moment we forget history, we repeat history.
I agree, but I don't think it was founded. I think it was involved, but I don't think it was founded. I think
The first
Constitution-
president of our country was a slave owner.
Where in where in the Constitution does it like preach that slavery is good and that's how like people should be ran? I mean, there was laws like that came in like the 3/5 and like obviously they weren't seen as man, but like I'm telling you, when you look at it objectively, all it does is preach individual freedom, less government, and prospering yourself. And I don't-
Matt,
I don't
feel
see
free to
how that's
request
any
up.
I don't see how that's restrictive.
Wait, you're asking like where in our federal government did we have legislation that furthered the promotion of
I'm
slavery
talking
and the
about the
violation
US
of individuals' human rights?
Declaration. A lot of
Wait, dude, isn't there an article of the Constitution that literally allows for the recapture of escaped slaves? Wait, can somebody tell me where that is? Like, yes. Oh, I forget where it is. I forget where it is. Like, there, like, yes. There was legislation, if not an article of the Constitution that allowed for capturing escaped slaves. If they've crossed state lines, there was an obligation in which was held by individuals in which captured the slaves or to the slave owners to recollect them. I think it was a fugitive
Hey, what's
slave
up?
act or clause.
Both. So what you're talking about is the Fugitive Slave Act. So that was passed in order to get people back. But Derek asked specifically, he asked, where in the Constitution does it say that slavery is okay or at least legitimized? Article 1, Section 2. The 3/5 compromise explicitly says that slaves and black people are worth 3/5 of a full citizen. It was explicit for about 70 years.
Not only that, and then you're spot on with the actual recapture. I mean, that's how the actual police came about, right? They were used as slave catchers, and many of them didn't even change their badges from being slave catchers to the ones that they continue to use today. But even more than that, Derek, question, just think about it for a second. Who had rights under the Constitution when it was written besides white men that own land? Was there anyone else that had rights besides white men that own land?
No.
So if the Constitution was written specifically for white men that own land, how can racism and sexism not be deeply rooted into what we are as far as America today? Because literally the principles of this country was not made for anyone except white men that own land.
Okay, well, what would you say for now? Because that's obviously changed. That's not in the Constitution now. There's the Civil Rights
Well, I
Act.
mean, actually, it
We're
still
not arguing
is.
about now.
So the Constitution isn't like erased and rewritten.
Exactly.
You amend what already exists, and as far as I'm
All right,
concerned,
so it's amended.
what was it?
It's
Was it
changed.
was a 3/5 compromise ever amended with the constitutional amendment?
Yeah.
Good.
13th Amendment.
So it's changed now.
Yeah, but it took 70 years and a bloody civil war.
Yeah,
And
listen,
to Dane's point, I mean, this is the premise of what this country is and who we are, and that's what he's been saying this entire time.
More specifically, that's what the country was founded upon. And I mean, like any progress to achieve like American values that you describe of equality for all were fought for by the minority communities in which were subjugated to harm and oppression via the founders. And I feel like that's really important to recognize. Because it's like, it's like the same minority groups that you're shitting on now, saying are eroding American culture, have actually lent their hands in building what you think is American culture of equality and prosperity for all. I mean, if it was just left to the original founders, the original Americans, I mean, that idea would be very far off of the world we'd still be living in today if it wasn't up to the fight of those oppressed communities. So you have the communities in which you want to exclude from our country today to thank for what you
I don't want to
view as
exclude
American
anyone.
values.
I'm just not into open borders, and like the whole thing is just like when you have, free flow. Like I don't agree with free flowing borders, and I think it could cause economic problems, and I think not. I think there would cause.
Do you think
Like I
that
wouldn't.
the economy of countries in the
If someone
EU?
of color, like or someone from Central America moved next to me, like would I be pissed? No, but like it would cause a lot of conflicts, among a lot of other people, and you can't disagree
Wait,
that
wait,
Are
hold
you
people.
on,
are?
Derek. So, yeah, I think that's exactly what he's saying, Matt. Wait,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
Derek, are you saying
But
that?
that's but but but
Are you
also
saying
that's
that?
not just
Are you saying?
America
Wait,
though.
hold on. I just want to make sure I
That's
get
not
it.
just
So
America.
you're saying that if brown people moved in beside you, you wouldn't have a problem,
No.
but your neighbors would have a problem with the brown people moving in around you.
Mm-hmm. And I,
So you're admitting that your neighbors are racist, and that's why you don't want brown people in your area because you live around racist people.
Well, I think not only just my neighbor, but I think that's how the world
So you
works.
just
Right? Like I think
want
that's
to
why
have like
countries.
this
I
sundown
think that's why
country.
countries naturally form. Right? You have a group of people who have the same ideals, that think the same way. Like, and I think it's wrong to exclude people who want to, join that or assimilate that. I think that's totally wrong. But like, you can't deny the human nature of wanting, to be with people who are
Hold
like-minded and
on.
this and that. Right?
No one here, by the way, is denying that human nature tends to be very tribalistic, right? No
Mhm.
one's denying that. But we have remedies in order to bypass that. And we have known about them for like 100 years. And it's through the integration of people. The more that you talk to people, live with people, interact with people who are different than you, the more likely you are to not see them as the other. That's the whole point. Like, that's why most countries today that are full-fledged functioning democracies, right? They have a lot of ethnic groups in them, and they function perfectly fine.
I agree, but there's a lot of examples of
By the way, I just want to let
a
you
lot of
know,
ethnic groups not like mixing,
you're literally arguing exactly what Jared Taylor argued. You're a white nationalist. So
I
I
totally
went.
disagree with that.
No, I'm telling you.
I'm
I
not
like to
saying
I'd
that's
like to
how I
clarify.
want it to be.
I'd like to clarify
I'm
on who
saying
Jared.
that's how
I'd
it
like to
is.
clarify on who Jared Taylor is. He's a white nationalist, white supremacist that's been running a magazine to preach his white supremacy since the 70s. He came to speak at a local university in my area by the name of CMU. And I actually got a ticket and I went. And I listened to him speak for 45 minutes, use the same rhetoric, same words, and same arguments that you're giving us right now. I actually remember him saying explicitly what you're saying right now about the tribalistic nature of human beings and how we want to be around individuals who are more similar to us, and this calls for segregation of races. And we can't deny that tribalist nature of humans, and how there's all of these examples that I feel like you're gonna start getting into about how different races of individuals just quote unquote
I
don't
just
blend.
don't think the solution is free flowing border. I think there's other solutions.
Wait, hold on.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, what's interesting? Like literally, the point that you're making now validates what Dean has been saying this entire time. Like you're validating what he's been arguing by you just admitting that, the people that I live around in this country, they don't do well with brown people or people of other races or cultures or whatever. Like that's racism. Like that's what you're leaning into it, and you don't even see it. That's wild.
Hey, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. I'll let you guys talk to him.
Yep.
But see,
Go ahead, Matt.
I'm concerned though. When has Dean, Santana, me, anybody else? When have we said that we support the complete free flow movement of people like over the border? I'm not
Dean said.
No, Dean's pretty liberal on it, but like he doesn't support like just like anybody coming over the border. Like,
Can I just answer your question?
Yeah, sure.
And
He
hey,
said,
Derek, just keep in mind,
yeah.
I've been listening this entire time because I just hang out and listen. So I remember exactly what Dean said, but go ahead.
Yeah, so basically what I got off of it is he thinks immigration should be as easy as possible. Obviously, there should be a vetting process for bad people. So my consensus of it in blanket terms would be basically free borders, but let's not have, bad people come in.
well,
Is that wrong?
I'll let Dean explain it, but that's not my understanding of what Dean believes at all.
No, that's
so,
not.
But even if that was the case, right? We are for the liberalization of it, right? We want people who want to come in, make a living, work, and provide and give us the things that we need here because we need them, and we want to make that as easy as possible because right now it is so fucking difficult to like become a U.S. citizen, and you have to go through so many hoops that we want to make it easier. That's the main point.
He tried to change the argument, Dean.
I don't know what this guy.
I told him I've been listening the whole time, so.
All I said was that you said you wanted immigration to be as easy as possible while keeping the bad
So like my
and
position.
then you said, you took it as that means anybody can come in, and it's just free flowing.
I said anybody can come in as long as they're not, bad people. I mean, is that basically what you said, Dean?
Well,
in essence,
actually, yeah, that is kind of my position.
I mean, that's a fine position. I got no problem with that.
Yeah, my position on immigration is that there should be as many legal ports of entry into America as possible, with screening processes for prior violent offenses. I'm pretty close to full on open borders.
Hey, I have a question for Derek.
Yeah.
Derek, are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
So you believe in Jesus?
Jesus, yes.
In the Bible book, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. What would Jesus do? Do you think Jesus would say, you can come into the country as long as you have, paperwork, or even more so, did Jesus have passports while he was actually traveling the land and spreading the word of God?
Well, so Christianity is supposed to be the world religion. So to answer your question, Jesus would accept anyone, anytime.
So if you base your faith off of the teachings of Jesus and you believe in what the book stands for, then why are you against the very principles and teaching of your religion?
I'm gonna put it a little bit more simply than Santana. I've seen one of those little
Dean.
bracelets. Well, what would Jesus
do?
So if Jesus should do it, why shouldn't you?
All right. Are you, Derek, are you too good for Jesus?
Yeah.
No.
I have a question, Derek. Do you think that we should legislate a criminal justice system with a foundation of Christian belief?
No.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, you don't think that we should live in a Christian country, just more so you think that we should live in a country where you're free to be Christian.
Yes.
Okay. And then I just had a question. You keep talking about how immigration negatively impacts the economy. I just want to let you know, since America was made until today, The historical precedent has been the exact fucking opposite. Immigration has only helped the economy, and this is also true in like the global stage. Even with like just complete open borders. Fun fact: like look at the EU, all the countries in the EU. Do you think that they're performing better when they function as their own individual entities with strong and strict border patrol that would keep anybody outside of their country from coming in their country, or did their economy function better once they formed a coalition of the EU and allowed the free commerce and trade and movement of individuals from one country to another with no restriction as long as they have a valid passport in France? They could go to Germany, Poland, Italy, Greece, the UK, etc. Well, obviously, the answer would be they perform better afterwards. So seemingly, we don't see a historical precedent set anywhere on the face of the planet stating that more immigration hurts the economy.
Just wondering, is all the like, what are the immigration levels from the past for the United States? Are they pretty much the same as in
What are the
let's say,
immigration
the past
levels?
15 years, or?
Are you trying to say, are you trying to figure out how many people are quote unquote illegally coming in, or what exactly are you speaking to?
And how far back you want to go?
Would actually like to thank a couple people for their donations real quick. Kennedy, thank you so much for the $50 donation over on Venmo. Thank you for the love, Kennedy. Kennedy says, did you wash your hands? I sure did, Kennedy. I washed the hands. Thank you for the $50 donation. Everybody, please show some love to Kennedy down below in that chat. 500 W's for Kennedy. Ian with the $2, Ian with the $5, and Ainsley with a 5 as well. I do appreciate everybody so much for your love over on Venmo. You guys are sweet. And then also Natalie with the $2 over on PayPal from 35 minutes ago. If you're watching and you'd like to support me, I'm actually going to go ahead and change the top of the phone screen so you could see my Venmo and PayPal. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms. They go straight to me, and I could give you a shout out and read your message. Take it away.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I was just asking you for like one president that would be indicative of immigration hurting an economy. Because I actually think that mass deportation is what would hurt the economy.
Well, I don't think, listen, I'm not going to say, if we have 5 million immigrants come in, GDP is going to drop 2%. I'm just saying in some ways it could have some other economic implications that aren't ideal.
Like what?
So
like
what?
Honestly,
There's none. See, this is like why I was so confident in indicating that you may be racist earlier. Because it's like, I'm willing to sit here and hear you out for any reason you could give me that is not racist while you hold the views you do. But as soon as I give you the open, public, and free mic to do exactly that, what do you say? Nothing.
I think he's turning into a teacup to try to find something.
And also, Derek, do you like condemn the fact that the Trump administration has deported like people who are like not criminals, and two are a legal status?
I will say my point is, if you come into the country illegally,
That's not what I asked you.
it makes you a criminal. So if you're
No,
deported as
that's
a-
not the question.
Oh.
Oh, no, hold on. Simply being a undocumented migrant does not de facto make you a full-fledged criminal. It just doesn't. Okay, but that's not only what's happening here. Trump
Well,
is
what do you mean by
deporting
full-fledged?
people that what?
I'm sorry, what do you mean by full-fledged criminal?
Because
I mean,
Trump
is it
himself,
illegal to-
defined the fact that he would go after violent criminals.
Mhm.
Right? Being a undocumented migrant definitely is not a violent criminal, and I would even dispute that it's basically being like a criminal at all because it's a misdemeanor. So I would just like throw that out there, like
I think-
no matter what.
I think I think what Trump said was he was going to take out the illegal immigrants or remove the illegal immigrants, as well as most of them being ordered.
Would you
And then
agree?
he said, okay, you know what? I'll even just like say, let's go off that. He's not only doing that, he's getting rid of people who are legally protected in this country, and some of them are even U.S. citizens.
If they are here legally and they're U.S. citizens and they're getting deported, that is wrong. Totally
I know,
wrong.
with like no due process, so they're getting sent to
that's
fucking
wrong.
El Salvador, and right, and they have no due process.
And Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, and Guantanamo, and so that they have no process by which to choose who they're like actually going after. They actually tried to like stop somebody simply because he was Hispanic. Like they just pulled him over and said, "We want to see your papers." And when he says, "I'm a citizen," they like didn't believe him.
I don't think that's okay at all. If that's true, I'm totally with you. Not
If
cool.
that's true, I mean that's very much true because it's been in the news like every day for the past like month.
Well,
So
I'd have to see the evidence.
I would just
Just on
love
both
to.
sides.
The
I,
Just
news.
both sides. There's a lot of hot
I
takes.
would just love to go back just to this one thing really quick. Is
Hmm.
the same thing that Dean has been saying this entire time. What is your basis as far as wanting mass deportation? Because you haven't given anything of
It's not that
substance.
well,
Oh,
I don't
Well,
yeah,
want.
that's
that's
the
actually
thing.
the question I want to go
I
back
don't
to. Do you
want
think that
mass.
mass
I don't
deportation is
want
better than
mass.
mass amnesty? Yes or no?
I don't want mass deportation. What I want is just not a free flowing border.
No, we're
And
not
I
even
don't
talking
think
about
that's-
border. We're not talking about what to do at the border. We're talking about what to do with the undocumented migrants that are already in America. Should we give them citizenship or should we give them deportation?
Listen, I guess if I was the president, I would give them a certain amount of time. You can apply, get vetted. You don't do it, you're out. I feel like that would be pretty fair if I was president.
Okay, well, Derek, I do appreciate you for coming up. I'm going to go to move on to the next guest because I feel like we've kind of exerted all conversation.
All right. Well, you guys made me think of things differently, so I appreciate it.
It's good, Derek. Appreciate you for coming up. Have a good one.
Well, Dean, thanks for having me up. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you both for coming up. You guys are so incredibly knowledgeable, both of you guys.
Oh,
Absolutely, Dean. I
Santana.
love the way. Yeah, love the way you
Chat.
clocked it.
Yep.
Yeah.
W. Okay.
See you,
bye
Matt.
bye.
See you, Dean.
Bye, Santana. Have a good one.
Peace out, you guys.
Wait, how do I?
I got you. For everybody watching, we're going to move on to the next guest. But before we do, guys, let's make sure that we get a bunch of W. Matts and W. Santanas, both incredibly intelligent individuals. I love them to death. Let's get the next guest loaded up. But before we do, or while they are loading up, Angela, not Angelina. I don't know where I got that one from. Thank you for the $20 donation over on PayPal. 200 Angela W's down below in the chat. Angela says, please don't stop educating and appreciate you. Oh, I appreciate you too. I love you so much. Thank you for the $20 donation. That is so incredibly kind of you. As well as Alex with the $20 donation on Venmo saying, as a 37-year-old millennial, I've learned more from you than anybody else. Keep up the good work, Dean. Alex, you're awesome. Thank you for the $20 donation and the kind message. Everybody please show Alex and Angela some love. But we're going to get that next guest up here. Go ahead and spam MAGA in that chat if you want to come up and debate. We got Daniel and Jennifer loading in. And then also Traceless with a $20 super chat. W Traceless in the live chats. Traceless says, Dean, I feel like I relate to you a lot because when I was similar to you when I was younger. I opened my eyes and my heart to liberalism and then realized I was more or less brainwashed by family and Fox News. So glad I changed. Yeah, man, I made that realization a couple of years back. And, I got to say, I really do owe a lot of that to one of my friends in person. They are they're actually a great debater. I don't know why they don't have their own platform. One of the best debaters I've ever met. What's up, Daniel? And
Let me turn my camera on. Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you.
if you want to, you can. And they debated me for like 2 years straight on like Joe Biden and whatnot and the Democratic Party and whatnot. And they like really started to open my mind. They're a good guy. But anyways, Mr. Daniel, did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Mr. Daniel, why would you ever make such a terrible decision?
Well, I definitely agree with a lot of your points. First off, on Kamala's character, so definitely better, right? Undoubtedly. I would like to talk about his immigration. I know that other guy talked about it for a long time, so I don't want to continue the conversation he had. But I did notice in the beginning of your conversation, you pointed out that Trump hasn't really made any specific statements, and then you asked him why it was bad, and he couldn't really provide you an example. But I mean, I know it's a while ago, but it still applies. In 2019, there were some hospitals that provided about $2 billion in Texas to undocumented migrants because they're legally required to. They can't refuse that. I mean, don't you think it would be more productive to dedicate this money and allocate these funds to citizens of the U.S.?
So you're talking about funding through Medicaid or FEMA to states to provide emergency services for undocumented migrants, yes?
Not specifically to undocumented migrants, but yes. Well, yes. Actually, yes, you're right. I misunderstood what you were saying. Yeah, you're good.
How much do undocumented migrants pay in taxes per year?
I'm going to say nothing because they're undocumented.
Well, to your shock, they actually pay $100 billion in taxes per year on the federal, state, and local level with the use of ITINs. Last year, Medicare expensed $16.5 billion for emergency services at hospitals across our country. That also would apply to uninsured American citizens. But if every single user of emergency services that did not have insurance in the last year was undocumented migrants, they'd still be giving our government nearly 5 times as much money as our government would expense for them for emergency services. So still yet, a total net plus for our government.
Wait, so my question then would be, if they're undocumented migrants and they don't have a social security number, how are they able to pay taxes? How do they get a job that would require them to pay taxes? How are they able to get funds that give them money to pay taxes? I mean, if they're living off of the state, then they're not paying taxes. People who don't have the ability to work.
So they actually do have the ability to work, and they have the same labor protections as you and I, and they work with the use of ITINs, and that's on top of sales tax.
How are they getting income? I mean, again,
But how are they getting income? Because they're W-2 employees, so they get income just like you do?
Well, when I apply for a job, for example, I have to provide identification and prove that I'm a citizen of the United States.
No, actually you don't. Funny enough, it's actually legal to ask for evidence of identification as a citizen. They just simply ask for your SSN, and if you don't have an SSN, you give them your tax ID number, which is the ITIN, which undocumented migrants can get.
Genuine question, don't you have to put your SSN on your tax IDs?
No, you can have an ITIN without an SSN.
How does that work?
How does it work? I don't know how it works, but I do know that it exists. And I know that undocumented migrants, because they work as W-2 employees with an ITIN, they are able to pay taxes, and they do pay taxes, $95.7 billion per year. Like, I'd assume that you have to apply for an ITIN, and in the application process, you don't have to prove citizenship. And this could be applicable for undocumented migrants. But I don't have an ITIN, so I don't know exactly how the process works, but I still do know that I'm factually correct, and I can indicate to you my sources.
No, I mean, I definitely believe you. You're right about most of the stuff. So my second point that I would like to bring up is, and actually say all this stuff, is we talk a lot about, Trump versus Kamala, in voting for Trump. Really, I wouldn't say it's economics. I mean, look what he's done recently. The other question I had that was related is, we know the Dow is down. We know the stock market is in shambles. Like I earlier mentioned that that happened before Trump's tariffs were introduced earlier. What was it, yesterday? And now this has been a result of it until the market closed today. But it was projected down, though. Wouldn't that infer that regardless of his implementation of it in the moment, that because of, economic or economists planning
the moment he announced tariffs
that's what I was gonna say.
on Canada, it destroyed the futures market, created uncertainty, dropped consumer confidence, and we had the quickest drops in our stock market since the 2008 recession before his implementation of tariffs on Liberation Day yesterday. But since his implementation of tariffs on Liberation Day yesterday, I mean, we have now the aftermarket, the trades were terrible. And with market opening this morning, it has been down, man. I had to turn off my notifications for Coinbase. I own very little crypto, but the crypto I do own is in the shitter.
Bitcoin's what, 7.5 down?
I'm an ETH, so I don't know about Bitcoin.
ETH is like 4.5. It's all bad.
Right,
Get out of stock.
right. And I mean, that's just because of the uncertainty and economic wars generated by his onset of tariffs. So, I mean, blame Trump, man. Before Trump was inaugurated, the Atlanta Fed projected 4% growth in our GDP. I mean, we had consistent growth under the Biden-Harris administration since they rebounded from COVID, and the economy was propped up to do great. Donald Trump walks in, says, fuck this shit, let's own the libs, crashes it all, and then here we are today.
Great. So then the next question is, do you think, I saw somebody just now accuse Kamala of being DEI, and I wouldn't disagree with that statement. Functionally speaking, is she not DEI? And genuine question, why is being DEI a good thing?
Okay, so when you say functionally speaking, is she not DI? What do you mean by that statement?
I mean, functionally speaking, are a lot of her policies not for people who are underprivileged and, causes disproportionate, well, I would guess disproportionate wouldn't be the word. I guess what I'm trying to say is ultimately Kamala introduces policies and has a mindset that is a little bit too, promotive of the DEI mindset. She focuses.
What is it? I gotta understand what you mean by DEI. Like if by DEI you just mean inclusion of underrepresented and marginalized communities,
Yes,
and this is present through policy that disproportionately help members of the low and the middle class because they're underrepresented within the wealth dispersion in America. Sure, you could strictly label that as DEI using a very strict definition, but that'd be very good, right? Like typically when Republicans use the term DEI, they mean underqualified candidate because she's black or because she's a woman.
That's not how I was just asking. I was asking his question for him. I guess that was useless. But my other question would be, why is it a good thing to have more immigrants in the country? I understand what we talk. We talk about it boosts the economy, but aside from that, what else would it do? I heard a guy earlier mention that, we don't want a population issue, and then you mentioned pregnancy, and you said, well, wouldn't that mean we should introduce a child policy? My rebuttal to that would be, we don't have an overpopulation issue now.
Right. So, I mean, that was a question insofar as what he was saying, just like we don't have an overpopulation issue of migrants in our country now. So we shouldn't restrict either, right?
Well, hypothetically speaking, America's pretty big, but again, if we let in, an unregulated amount of migrants and made it just fine for anybody to come in with no real process, and they would be, legally acceptable.
There would be a real process. They get screened for prior violent offenses.
I'm saying it wouldn't be super strict. We wouldn't say nobody can come in. We wouldn't be an isolationist country. We would say, hey, here's an easy process that anybody can fill out and get into America. It's easy. That would increase the amount of citizens, by a large, sum. We would just see a population issue, wouldn't we?
Well, we'd see an equilibrium found between amount of migration into America and like quality of life. Let me think of a good example here. We don't limit the amount of people that could buy Coca-Cola, okay? But the more people that buy Coca-Cola, the more Coca-Cola charges for their product, and then an equilibrium is found where they can productively provide a product that is then bought by an amount of consumers, which is at the equilibrium price where they could generate the most profit. And I kind of treat like the influx of individuals coming into our labor force as like an economic tool that we could evaluate in a similar sense by saying there's going to be an equilibrium between an influx of migrants coming into America and quality of life. Right now, I don't believe that we've met that equilibrium. I think that our quality of life could be much higher if we were to allow for more migration into America. But does that equilibrium exist in a theoretical sense? Absolutely. Is it theoretically possible to go over that point of equilibrium? Absolutely. But what happens when we go over that point of equilibrium? Well, then less individuals want to migrate into America. Okay?
Okay, so the question is, what would that equilibrium look like?
It'd just be where there's enough migrants that want to come into America that maximizes the quality of life. But if anybody else were to try to come into America, it actually decreased the quality of life, meaning that nobody would want to come into America. Wait, I have a question. What year were you born in?
2007, March 29th. I just turned 18.
You just turned 18. I guess according to your Instagram, it says you're 16.
Oh, no, I can show you my ID if you'd like.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Like I was saying, what would he, really, my Instagram says I'm 16?
I mean, apparently, I don't know.
Okay, somebody's wrong. When we talk about, there would be an equilibrium and at some point the quality of life would decrease, what's to say that would stop people from coming into America regardless?
Because people come into America for higher quality of life.
But there's plenty of impoverished countries that have a substantially lower quality of life than America would, even if we had a lower quality of life now. Pre-jail, what's it called? Tip of my tongue. They just introduced a massive prison policy. They're putting everybody in jail.
Okay, how about this? In a hypothetical sense, I would support restrictions on the amount of individuals coming into America if it would lead to an overall quality of life. And that is a theoretical view that I do hold to. I think that's a fair view to hold to. But all that I know is that in the implementation of policy today, that is not the case. And that if we were to offer all undocumented migrants in America a pathway to residency or citizenship, that increase the quality of life in America. And therefore, I support said policy. And for everybody in the chat saying that you just turned 18, you didn't vote. Did you vote?
To be honest, I didn't vote. But
if you're 18 now, I don't care. We could still talk.
Yeah, I didn't vote. I just figured it was the easiest way to talk to you. I had genuine questions for you.
Would you have voted for Trump if you could?
Looking at it reflectively now, no. But probably at the time, probably. I was just a little bit too worried about Kamala. Realistically, my mom was in my ear about it all the time. Kamala's massive influx of immigrants. And there was a massive influx of immigrants. In my local, town, I was seeing people on the street. Anecdotally speaking, which I know means nothing, a girl got attacked by an immigrant and raped. So that was pretty bad. I can't say that. Sorry about that. My bad. R-worded, which was pretty bad. So it's anecdotal. It doesn't really mean anything, but it was definitely in my mind at the time. So I probably would have voted for Trump, yes.
Okay, so you would have voted for a rapist in protest of another rapist.
Touche. Sexual assault, right?
Sexual assault or sexual abuse or rape. All three terms would apply.
Right, touche. No, it's a good point to make. Although double standard doesn't really mean much it doesn't exempt one person.
Well, I think that Donald Trump will only set conditions in America that would lead to higher levels of violent crime. The reason why I say that is because his policy would be indicative of higher levels of poverty. I mean, his economic policy takes money from poor people and gives it to rich people, meaning that I
Wait,
feel
that's
as
a good
if you're
question, by the
ushering
way.
like
How does
more
it do
violent
that?
crime in America. What's that?
How does it do that? I'm trying to learn more about politics. It's economic policy. It
Yeah, good question.
redistributes from poor to rich. How do we do that?
So there's two sides of the coin here. The first side of the coin is his tax cuts. Like 80% of the tax cuts in his bill go to the top 0.01%. Meanwhile, a remainder of the tax cuts go to individuals making under that dollar amount, which means that the rich people are being disproportionately benefited. However, that doesn't necessarily redistribute wealth on its own. What redistributes the wealth is because he also has imposed blanket tariffs as of yesterday. It is the case that tariffs regressively and negatively impact those that make less money more, as they spend a greater proportion of their income on the bare necessities to live. And that is what takes money from poor people. And then what redistributes it to rich people is a tax policy that disproportionately helps the rich people. So when we consider these two policies, at the end of the day, anybody making under $395,000 per year will have less purchasing power than they would if this policy was never implemented. And this is coming from the Institute on Taxation and Economics. And feel free to look this up on your own. I'm also aware of many other sources that would reiterate the same sentiment. I just don't have them memorized on the top of my mind.
Okay, so we're saying, loosely saying, I guess not loosely, but we're saying basically that because of his policy, he's going to cause people who are under a certain income, which is top 1% income, less than 1%.
It was 3%. So everybody making under $395,000 per year is worse off. Everybody making over that amount is better off.
Right. So everybody under that has less purchasing power and therefore is losing money, whereas everybody above them is gaining money. Okay, I understand that. Wow, you basically explained everything. Let me see. What other questions that I have? Right, foreign policy. Let's talk about that a little bit. I don't think his isolationist policy is good. I do think that him keeping tabs on other countries and saying, hey, we're giving you a disproportionate amount of money to what we're receiving is good, though. Do you disagree with that? You do.
I do disagree with that. Of course, we are going to be spending more money on goods from other countries than they will be spending on us. America is the richest country in the world. America accounts for 30% of all global commerce. Let's just take Canada, for instance. Not only do we have a significantly larger economy than they do, but we also just have more people than they do. 340 million Americans compared to 40 to 50 million Canadians. Of course, we're going to be in a trade deficit with them. We're going to buy more. They're going to buy less. That equates to a trade deficit. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't see any reason why a trade deficit would be a bad thing.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, what about we have restructured our economy a little bit towards. You're pretty liberal, right?
Yeah. I've pretty left leaning views. Honestly, I'm kind of a leftist in every sense outside of the mode of production. I'm not a socialist. I'm a social democrat, so I'm technically still liberal, but I'm a liberal with pretty left leaning views.
Okay, I was gonna ask you about. Is my phone flipped? Can I do this, or am I gonna do it sideways?
I mean, you're sideways, but it's okay.
I'm just gonna put my phone on side. So to that extent, then, how do you feel? I mean, we've gotten a little bit more, involved in foreign relations with military specifically. How do we feel about that? I mean, Trump is pro-Israel, but he's also isolationist.
Yeah. Well, don't you kind of feel as if that's a little contradictory?
That's what I just said. Counterintuitive, oxymoronic.
Wow, I agree.
Okay, so I just don't. I'm confused. Then we're expanding our military. We're getting more vocal and pushing out, but we're also becoming isolationist. I don't understand what's happening.
It's basically close us off from every other country on earth, but then spend more money on the military for some reason. I don't know. If you ask me, I think the only reason why he ran on pro-military, policy of spending more and more and more on it was just to appeal to his base. It was just populist, rhetoric,
Okay, so
people on the right love guns, love beer, and love helicopters that shoot 1,000 rounds per minute and cost the government $5 billion every day. So
the defense budget.
They liked it, so he ran on it.
Okay. So then the next question is, talking about his platform for running. I mean, his big things were what? Domestic policy, foreign policy.
Yeah, his big thing was support Israel, end inflation, largest tax cuts in American history, and tariffs.
Okay, here's one thing I don't understand that I know you're going to be able to answer. How did his plan claim to get rid of inflation. I had about 1,000 conversations and I haven't been able to understand this yet.
You can't. It's not something you can understand. All that I know is that the 24 points of his platform that he ran on, I mean, you could go on his Instagram account and probably scroll back and still find it, said word for word, bar for bar, and I quote this explicitly, end inflation.
That's it?
Yeah, it's just nonsense. It's nonsense rhetoric and words. See, my thoughts is that the reason he's been such a successful politician is because he's realized something other politicians haven't. You could just straight up lie to people and they'll believe you. That's about it. And
he's not even with the Republican Party anymore. He's like his own party.
And that's why the Lincoln Project exists. They agree with you. They think that Donald Trump has strayed from the values and the goals of the GOP, and they've separated from MAGA, and they label themselves as the true GOP. And that is who Trump and other MAGA cronies call the rhinos.
Right. They hate rhinos. Okay. Republican only by name. Right. So only in name. When we get to, the next question, his lawsuits, right? He was found guilty on 36 charges in New York, yes?
Yeah, so he was found guilty on 34 felony convictions in the state of New York, and then he was held civilly liable for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll and defaming E. Jean Carroll.
Okay.
And then there's also like other miscellaneous suits, like you'd have you had Jack Smith with his indictment in Congress for trying to rig the outcome of the 2020 election, and then you had a lawsuit in Florida for concealing classified documents and not telling the government and trying to keep that a hidden fact with intent. And I think there was one other one for tax evasion by mislabeling the value of a property on paper in New York.
I think you should have more face-to-face talks, by the way. As far as political diffusion, I mean, look, I'm into political activism. I want to become more political, especially as I'm, able to vote now and voice my opinion and build a platform. I think one thing is a lack of will to converse. And I think that this stems a lot from a toxic mindset on the left and a cultish mindset on the right. How do you think, how do you think people can go about curating that? Is basically my last question. I'm going to wrap it up and head out of here because
I first think we need to understand what you call this quote unquote toxic mindset on the left of not being willing to converse. I don't think that's present in a whole lot of people. And in some people, I straight up understand it. Okay. Like, I'm not going to expect like a black leftist, for instance, to want to engage in conversation with a 65-year-old white guy that voted for Trump to actively infringe upon their rights as a marginalized American. Okay. Like, and I think I, at the same time, can realize that there's probably people on the left that aren't willing to have discourse with those on the right that wouldn't have that same good reason. And I could recognize that as a small problem. I don't think it's the biggest problem in America. But at the end of the day, the way I think we should move forward from where we're at now is to try to move the right a little bit further left, kind of like what it was maybe before Trump. I think if we could agree on human rights, that there would be much more willingness for discourse on both sides of the aisle. As soon as we can kind of all say, okay, guys, we shouldn't support, individuals that have been perpetuating war crimes like Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, guys, we shouldn't support denying a woman's access to abortion. We shouldn't support, like blatant authoritarian fascist rhetoric and statements, such as Donald Trump calling the media illegal. And we kind of get back to a point where there's still disagreements on values. Some disagreements even being a little bit more like, rough, like tax policy, governmental structures, etc. There'd be much more willingness for conversation from both sides of the aisle. And I feel like that's where we need to be. And the way we get there is just by inspiring critical thought. I mean, I don't think that there's any coherent logical justification for the points that I just shared that make our country so divided. And the way that we overcome that is through education.
Through education. Okay. Basically, my last question. Oh, can I ask one? Don't have to answer it. It might be completely irrelevant to the conversation. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on the Israel-Palestine?
I think it's pretty simple. I think that we don't support Russia for very obvious reasons. Russia has decided to ethnically cleanse and try to steal land from the Ukrainians. I don't know. Maybe we should hold that same energy towards Israel.
Can I offer you a rebuttal?
If you want, man.
Sure. We'll talk about this a little bit. I've seen some people in the comments are pretty upset that we're not having a hateful argument. We're not at each other's throats. So I'm sorry to see that, guys. That's actually a good point. This is kind of what I'm talking about. I feel like, and I love your community. I would like to say that first. Most of the people here are great. But, when I was saying MAG in the comments, per your request, by the way, people were getting very mad at me. People on the left tend to just delve straight for ad hominem and aggression as opposed to looking for...
Dude, don't make this an issue about people on the left. I had somebody come up here and accuse me of
It's
being
on
a
the right.
pedophile.
No, you're right.
I've been accused. You know what? Yesterday, I was accused of being a pedophile.
Today,
Today,
again,
I was accused of being a pedophile.
That was weird.
Just because people on the right don't like the fact that I'm a liberal. I think that we see more hateful rhetoric stemming from the right. I think that we see more violent rhetoric stemming from the right. And I think that it's more often we see that materialize into real action compared to sentiments held by the left. Of course, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to dispute anybody that's going to engage in, ad hominem attacks for no reason. And I can acknowledge that. But I think if we were to order the issues that we should be giving our attention to, let's first address the ad hominem attacks that are being materialized into real harm by people in huge positions of power, such as the Donald Trump administration and the MAGA party regime as a whole, before, maybe complaining about somebody calling, a Trump supporter an incel in a TikTok comment section.
Right. So, alternatively, you mentioned hateful. When you say hateful, do you just mean outspoken, aggressive, or are you talking about a specific type of hate?
Like the hate directed from the right?
Yes.
Shit, I could just give you an example. Donald Trump saying that the Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio were illegal and be eating cats and dogs. They were both legal refugees and were not eating cats and dogs. And they came up with that as a political talking point to get people to feel different from migrants, to dehumanize migrants, and to justify voting for a platform that wants to end due process for migrants. And viewing that as a symbol of patriotism and true American values. And there's an example.
Okay, so good example. Alternatively, Trump's entire platform is about rallying the cultish right to his bullshit. What about a different right-wing person who's provided hate? I know it says, why do you support Trump above your head? Can you give me a different example of an individual on the right who's promoted hate?
Nancy Mace. She's a congresswoman who is... and the only reason I know her name and everybody else in this live most likely knows her name is because of her extreme transphobia and spamming transphobic slurs on the floor of the Senate or the floor of the House. You also have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was standing in front of a podium last fucking week talking about all the rapist migrants, accusing them of just being the most terrible people alive. You got Boebert, who actually was my old representative from a district in Colorado. You got Cruz. You got J.D. Vance. You got Mitch McConnell. You got Gates. Okay, he raped a 17-year-old. Shit, man. I could go on and on and on and on and on, dude. Hegseth. He literally has a white supremacist tattoo and acts like it's a symbol of Christianity.
Okay, so that's a good point. And you mentioned hate. A lot of these things, by the way, were about minority groups. You think the right specifically targets minority groups? I would say when it comes to
yeah, of course. Yeah, because the only reason this far hateful right still exists is because of the cultivation of an environment where white men feel important. And I feel as if a mind of an ignorant, uneducated white man is going to prefer a space where they feel important compared to a space where the focus is not on them because right now they don't need the help. And of course, that must mean that this hateful right will serve to the interests of those self-righteous white men, which historically and today has led to the demise of minority communities in our country.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't have a good rebuttal for that. I did see somebody bring up the Israel-Palestine thing, which I brought up. I'd like to briefly talk about that as well. I never got around to it. But in regards to that, we recognize anti-Semitism is essentially at a high since 1935 to 55, right?
I'm so sorry. Could you repeat that?
I would say, am I muffled a little bit?
No. I'm just asking you to repeat. I was reading a
I
comment.
would say that, would you agree with me with the statement that anti-Semitism worldwide is at a higher rate than it has been since arguably 1935 to 55?
Okay. So, here's my like genuine stance on that. I think that like a lot of people kind of use that. Like they kind of just call being pro-Palestinian anti-Semitic.
That's not what I'm
But I actually like kind of might agree. I think that there's like the alt-right, people like Nick Fuentes, the Groypers, have used the issue of Israel and Palestine in a very disingenuous manner to be anti-Semitic, and I can acknowledge that. It's emboldened them more than ever to literally just hate Jewish people because they're Jewish. But 99% of the time, maybe even less than 99%, I'll say like a good 60% of the time, I feel like things that I do or say are called anti-Semitic merely because they don't align or agree with the state of Israel or Zionism in general. And I feel as if that is going to be the sentiment held by the typical pro-Palestinian individual. But of course, you do have people on the alt-right that exploit the pro-Palestinian movement just to be anti-Semitic. So I may agree with your claim.
Okay, so to keep it localized in America, Trump withheld what, $500 million of funding from Columbia because of anti-Semitic problems on campus, right?
Yeah, they're using pro-Palestinian protesters as a way to deport migrants with a legal status without due process.
And the problem with that was, well, they were also withholding funding, right?
And withholding funding, yeah.
And people were saying that people were upset about them withholding funding on the left.
Well, I don't know like the actions that the individual that I guess was engaging in this self-described anti-Semitic behaviors was engaging in. So like I'd have to reserve judgment until I know like what the student was doing that led to the federal government withholding funding from Columbia. But the potentiality that they were just literally a pro-Palestinian protester, then the government was like, you hate Jewish people, no more funding for the university, is definitely there. I just don't know enough.
So from what I know, right, don't crucify me if I'm wrong here, chat. But from what I know, a Jewish student was chased and I believe had to hide or was assaulted. And this is not the first time we've had assault on a Jewish person for being Jewish around a Palestinian protest around the country. Do you think, and these pro-Palestinian protests are generally led by people on the left, do you think the left is not also hateful to, you brought up double standards earlier. Do you think the left is not hateful towards Jews in the same way the right might be?
Oh, you cut out. You're muted.
One second. I'm getting a call.
Okay, he's getting a call. So I heard your question. Do you think that the left is as hateful to Jewish individuals as the right is as hateful to marginalized communities? Well, how about we test it? I mean, we have like what, 7.2 thousand people in my stream on TikTok, 2.5 thousand people in my stream on YouTube. I could assume that a lot of people in here are on the left, right? I mean, let's just ask a simple question. As soon as Daniel gets back, I'm going to ask a simple question and we'll test your hypothesis to see if people on the left are hateful to Jewish individuals. As soon as you get back.
Well, I feel like that's a fallacious hypothesis.
Well,
You're
no,
not
I'm going to ask a fair question to my chat. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm curious.
So you guys are not answering the question. You guys are saying no. Okay, here's my question. For everybody watching my stream that's a liberal, that's a leftist. Is Zionism separate and distinct from Judaism?
That's a...
Can you be anti-Zionist without being anti-Jewish? Yes. And seemingly, I'm seeing a massive consensus in all of my chats, both on YouTube and on TikTok, of yeses. Nothing but yeses. So I'd have to say that 99% of people on the left do not hold hate or animosity to Jewish individuals, but rather hold great disdain for the harmful values upheld under Zionism. However, There is a recognition that Zionism is separate and distinct from Judaism.
So, I mean, when we look at a cyclic argument, I would like to attack that argument there and say that's a bit cyclic. I mean, talk about Zionism. Is every Zionist a Jew?
So every Zionist individual, I mean, as far as my understanding, I don't know that much. As far as my understanding goes, actually, nope. According to the chat, no.
So
now you're getting into questions that are a little, most likely, probably too complex for my understanding.
Okay, my following question was going to be: is every Jew a Zionist?
No, the answer to that question is no. I know the answer to that question is no. No.
What do you mean?
No, not every Jewish individual upholds the tenets of Zionism self-described by the founders of Zionism, including the conquest, imperialism, and claimation of land. No, not all Jewish individuals agree with those, morally decrepit principles.
Right. Okay, but do you think that everybody? So, here's a good one for you. People talk about that. There's a statistic, the 56-13, right? That statistic is inherently fallacious. 56% of violent crime, 13% of the population, yada yada yada. Right? We understand that's fallacious because there's not crime because they're black. It's crime because of, social issues and societal constructs. We understand that it's not.
And because black individuals are significantly over-arrested for crimes that they did not commit compared to white individuals because of over-policing of predominantly black neighborhoods. My evidence for this would be the fact that some crazy number, like 45% of exonerations, are of black individuals.
Like I said, societal issues, and it's a bullshit statistic, but people ignore it and basically just weaponize it to attack African Americans. Do you think the same thing is not happening to Jews? People are ignoring the fact that not every Jew is a Zionist and saying, but you're Jewish, therefore I dislike you.
That is predominant in like 99% of people on the alt-right. And
you keep saying alt-right. I'm talking about the alt-left here. I mean, the pro-Palestinians have attacked umpteen Jews for being Jewish.
I mean, listen, it's going to be present within like 1%, maybe, of people on the left. I won't deny that there's a handful of people on the left that may hold to those ideals. I don't think it's impossible. My argument would be, well, I don't think that's like a true liberal, true leftist. And their views are wrong.
You think every leftist has to hold by the same ideals to be a leftist, or do you think there can be a spectrum?
Well, I think that like liberalism and leftism would imply some sense of care out of like the quality of life of humans. And complete denial of exploitation of humans, and I would feel as if that's an incredibly exploitative view. So it'd just be a contradiction between one's ideals to say that they are completely distinct, separate, and deny the exploitation of humans, and for that reason they're like a communist or whatever the hell, I don't know. But then simultaneously holding the exploitative view that all Jewish individuals are Zionists, therefore all Jewish individuals are bad.
It's again. So I mean, look, your point was on civil rights and saying that leftists hold up civil rights to a much greater standard than other political parties, which is true. However, people in the chat are funny. However, you might hold all of these things to be true. You might say African Americans are underrepresented in America, and racism is prevalent as ever, and there's plenty of societal issues, which is true. And you might hold by all these things. And you might say the Palestinians are being abused, and I don't like Jews because of that, or I don't like Zionists because of that. And then you might take that on a Jew. You might,
dude. Okay. I've made it clear that Zionism is completely separate and distinct from Judaism. We ran a poll on over like 9,000 people. All 9,000 people agree with that position. There's an exploitation of Jewish individuals that is present on the alt-right and the Groyper communities, Nick Fuentes communities, white supremacist communities. And I was even sympathetic to your position that anti-Semitism is on a rise because of that fact. I've been very good faith. But I've completely denied that view is prevalent on the left. It is contradictory to other expressions of leftists and of liberals, and that if somebody does hold that view on the left, they would account for a very small minority and I would condemn that view. I mean, where do we go from here? I'm pretty sure that I've kind of fleshed out all of my positions.
Well, okay, so again, your point that leftists don't, and your point about the chat's pull. And I don't mean to get esoteric and obnoxious about it, but psychologically speaking, there's phenomena such as groupthink and group polarization. In groups, people get more violent, right? That's how riots start, and that's how mob mindset. That's what mob mindset is. In a protest where you're protesting against Zionists, and you might meet a Jew who is also Zionist and have an interaction with them, and that might get violent, and they might be attacked. And in the future, a bias is then created. This is how psychology works. A Jew interacted with you who happened to be Zionist. Jews are Zionists. I mean, we do see a massive increase on attacks of Jewish individuals across America, fundamentally speaking, in the last 2.5 years. Right? It's not just a coincidence that a war started, protest started, and all of a sudden Jewish students at universities and across America, not just students, are being attacked at massively disproportionate rates.
Okay, so you're basically saying that you think that views on the left could lead one down a psychological phenomenon, which would lead them towards higher levels of anti-Semitism. Well, my position would be, if that's the case, well, then it makes perfect sense why I and many other people on the left are very clear and explicit between the distinction of Zionism and Judaism. I mean, maybe if I didn't recognize that distinction, maybe if I was not vocal about that distinction, maybe if the left was not vocal about that distinction, I'd be more sympathetic to your position and argue that that ought be changed. But unironically, I've gotten my education on Palestine, on Israel, on Zionism, predominantly from listening to left-leaning circles, and that is exactly where I've learned a distinction between Zionism and Judaism. I mean, I feel like you're trying to paint this picture where, Jewish Americans are being exploited by the left, when in all reality, the left would advocate against that by separating Zionism and Judaism. And seemingly, you seem to forget about the 2.1 million Palestinians living on the Gaza Strip that will not only be exploited, but will have their human rights violated when ethnically cleansed by Donald Trump.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course, but I wish that you'd give this same energy of understanding systems of oppression and psychological phenomenon, which can lead to more exploitation and human rights violations, as it would apply outside of a disingenuous argument of the left being anti-Semitic, and to nearly any other exploited and marginalized group of humans, not only in America, but also on the global stage. I feel like it's this level of critical thought that you're superimposing upon the oppression that you think is committed by the left, which leads you to the left, because in the employment of said critical thought, you become pro-Palestinian, you become a feminist, you become pro-LGBTQ+. You want to get out there and advocate against the disproportionately widespread psychosocial phenomena of homophobia, of misogyny, of misogyn against black women, of racism, of xenophobia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So I agree with everything except for the pro-Palestinian stance. Again, within America,
the pro-Palestinian stance is just saying I don't like when innocent people die. That is the basics, man. I don't like it when innocent people die. Israel is killing innocent people. They want to kill more. They want to ethnically cleanse more. They think that they have a right to land that they don't. They've been condemned by international courts. They've been condemned by countries. They've been condemned by the UN. And it is finally time to condemn that yourself. And in condemning that, you are pro-Palestinian.
So I'd like to make a point, right? You brought up very conveniently for me because I didn't know how to worm my way around to it, the death of innocent people. Do you know that Israel as a country is part of their military, that if they're going to bomb something, they give a 24-hour in advance notification to the location to bomb?
Oh yeah, and that explains why there's been like tens of thousands of innocent women and children that have just lost their lives. One moment. Obviously, like the children should have skedaddled, but I don't even think that's true. Did they give a 24-hour heads up before they violated the ceasefire with Palestine?
we can look it up right now.
What did they tell to the patients in the hospital? They were like, kind of just move your bed elsewhere.
The hospital is notified. We can again. It's all available.
Wow, that's really nice of them to like give a 24-hour heads up to violating a ceasefire agreement and like killing incapacitated individuals in a hospital.
So where are
Come on, bro. Come on. That's crazy. I can't believe you said
the
that.
Hamas terrorists setting up their bases? Because it's not in random locations that are abandoned. It's in hospitals where there are civilians.
If there was terrorists in America hiding in hospitals, hiding in churches, hiding in schools, what would the correct response of the American military be? Would it be to bomb it all, to kill the terrorists and the innocent people, or would it be to send special operative black ops teams into those locations to strategically take out the terrorists?
So let me offer you.
No, I want you to answer my question.
You want to answer your question? I'm going to give you a continuation. I'm going to send it back to you before I answer yours, please.
No.
Okay, fine. In your scenario, I think the best option for the United States, not for Israel, because Israel has a worse special operations unit than we do. We have the best in the world.
What, dude? They're backed by us. We back them. We've been sending them the 3,000-pound bombs. We've been sending them the ARs. We've been sending them the missiles. They're backed by us.
They're technologies, but their soldiers aren't. They're not trained like ours are.
Okay, so it'd be good to do on American soil, but not good to do on Palestinian soil.
What?
We got to thank a couple donors. Hey, Sabrina, thank you so much for the 28 Canadian dollars over on YouTube Super Chat. Everybody, please show some love to Sabrina down below in that comment section. And then also Michelle with the $5 and Mellis with the 10 and Day with a 5. And oh my God, Duncan with a $50 Super Chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love, Duncan. I want to see at least 500 W Duncans down below in that chat. Thank you so much for the love, Duncan. Everybody, please show some love to Duncan down below right now. At least 500 Ws. That's so kind. And then also AMA with the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. And oh my God, Chance with the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. 1,000 W chances in that chat. 1,000 W chances. That is insane. And Sid with the $100 Super Chat as well. Holy shit, you guys are going so crazy over on Super Chat today. Show some love to Sid. Show some love to Chance. Show some love to Duncan and AMA. You guys are so incredibly kind. Thank you so much. And then also Traceless with the $20. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then Traceless with another 40 earlier. Thank you so much, Traceless, Sabrina, Duncan, Chance, Sid, AMA, Mellis. You guys are all beautiful. Everybody, please show some love to our donors. You guys are so kind. And then also, Lewis, thank you for the $20 donation over on Venmo. That's incredibly kind of you, Lewis. At least 200 Ws for Lewis. If you want to support the stream, the Venmo and the PayPal are on the top of the phone screen. You could also find it in the pinned message on YouTube, where you could also support through Super Chat. All right, Duncan, anything else, man?
Duncan is a crazy...
Sorry, Daniel is your name.
No
I was
problem.
just thinking about Duncan so much.
Shout out to whoever said Mossad in the chat, by the way. Mossad is not the same as... special operatives. It's completely different. It's intelligence and not at all the same. Also inferior to the United States. Regardless of that, so imagine that same hospital was actively sending out attacks all over the U.S. Urgent. We were going to lose plenty of people. Innocent civilians were going to die from this hospital sending out attacks. And the longer we wait, the more complicated we make things, and the more we have to, outline the hospital,
the galaxy
blueprint of the hospital. The longer it takes, the more civilians are going to die. What do you think the best response is?
Well, I know what the response from the American government would be. It would be to get special operatives in there to kill the terrorists while saving the innocent civilians. It'd just be expedited as all hell. Like, I just want it to be incredibly clear. You are trying to justify war crimes.
Well, so again, you brought up double standards earlier, and if you're okay with using double standards to disprove me, why don't I just do it to you? They're all if they are freedom fighters, then if they're not terrorists, then they do obey the Geneva Convention.
Okay, so you're imposing a view that I don't hold to.
So sorry. What?
I don't support Hamas.
Okay, so I thought you supported. I asked you if you supported Hamas.
No, I don't. I just support humanity.
Okay, fine. So that doesn't hold as much gravity. But regardless, I mean, they're also committing war crimes. I do not think it's, I guess I don't have a good argument for that one. I'll give you that. You know, I don't. Look,
Because it's just like it's a common sense because it's a common sense position. That's why you don't have a good argument against it. Like listen, man, I understand. Like Hamas is guilty of war crimes too. Okay, I'm talking about the innocent citizens, the innocent men, the innocent women, the innocent children that have lost their lives at the hand of the IDF. Okay, I wish that there could be a resistance standing behind Palestine, backed by billions of dollars in funding to eradicate what they view as a need for Hamas. Okay, and maybe this is the middle of the road. Why don't you support the U.S. stepping up and being like, Palestine, we are going to give you all this funding, all these weapons. We're going to give you the right to defend yourself. We're going to give you humanitarian aid. And then all of a sudden, what their perceived need for Hamas is just goes away. Okay, because all of a sudden they have what they need to defend themselves from ethnic cleansing. They have what they need to defend themselves, from invasion, from death. Etc. And then also, if you can recognize and condemn Hamas, why can't you recognize and condemn the IDF?
I do recognize and condemn the IDF.
Do you think that the IDF should be eliminated?
Do I think the IDF should be eliminated as a force? No, I think Israel has way too many oppositions in the Middle East to be eliminated, and that would cause a violent takeover of Israel.
Okay, well, this is your double standard, because now the same line of argumentation could be upheld for Hamas. You could say, well, you recognize that Hamas has done bad things, but there's a necessity for a movement of resistance inside of the state of Palestine to counter the ethnic cleansing, terror attacks, and death of innocent people committed at the hand of the state of Israel. You unironically just gave an argument to justify the necessity of Hamas in the state of Palestine.
No, the difference is Hamas. So first off, who initiated the attack?
Who initiated the attack? The conflict has been ongoing since the middle of the 20th century.
You know what I'm asking you, right? I mean, you asked me
there's been conflict between Israel and Palestine since the 1930s. But is the argument that the war crimes committed by IDF are permissible because you think that Hamas started the attack on October 7th?
You got to hear me out. A little bit of Socratic questioning real quick. Who initiated the attacks that started the war that we are currently in?
Conflict? I don't know. I'm not educated on my history enough. I'm just appealing to agnosticism as I'm seriously not educated on the history of the conflict. I'd love to get somebody like Athena up on the live that could hopefully go more in depth with education on conflict than I am. It is just not a field where I've done research into, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I could be upfront, blunt, and honest about it. But I think my honest question has been, why are we trying to justify the deaths of innocent people by the hands of the group in which it's been committed because of a he said, she said, you did this first? Okay. According to you, think that Hamas did this first, therefore the IDF is just totally chill and running their babies over with tanks. It just doesn't make any fucking sense to me, man.
So where I'm headed with this is Hamas initiated the attack on October 7th, right? This is the current war that is going on. Not, there's a war, not, a conflict, a war. So we're not talking about the beginning of the conflict. We're talking about...
I don't know. I'm not too sympathetic to calling it a war.
Okay, but I mean, Israel's called it a war.
Well, I think Israel's called a lot of things a plethora of words that are not true. Maybe labeling killing innocent people is a unfortunate artifact of war. I don't get it, man.
Ukraine at war with Russia? Is Russia at war with Ukraine?
So I'd actually say that Russia's invaded Ukraine, and I've made this argument to somebody else on my live earlier. I'm not really okay with calling that a war either. But I'd say it's more permissible between Russia and Ukraine than Israel and Palestine. However, both would fall under this category of invasion and ethnic cleansing.
So again, I don't understand. Is the United States going into Vietnam invasion?
Kelvin, thank you so much for the $5 over on PayPal. So now you're just arguing that the U.S. has done bad things too. Yeah, man, I'm I'm not the patriot you think I am, man. I'll condemn my own country too. The answer is yes.
A war, or is it?
I can't hear you.
Is it a war or an invasion?
From what I know, I'd be pretty okay with labeling it as an invasion. But I'm not not as educated as I should be on historical global conflict.
I mean, like you start a conflict, you invade somebody, and a war is the aftermath of an invasion.
The reason why I'm not okay with calling it a war is because I see that Israel has been obliterating Palestinians off of the face of this planet. And I've seen large countries such as America supporting them in their efforts, even offering a hand to personally go into the Gaza Strip and ethnically cleanse 2.1 million people, with ongoing efforts despite claims by international courts of genocide, despite claims of international courts of war crime, and the immediate call for an arrest of Netanyahu. I feel as if the term war, and I'll actually use an argument that you gave us earlier, aids and abets in a psychosocial phenomena where individuals are more likely to discredit the atrocities that have been committed at the hand of the state of Israel by merely appealing to the idea that it's a fact of war when in all reality it's a consequence of genocide and ethnic cleansing.
First off, I'm not driving, guys. I'm in my garage park.
Daniel, I mean, do you have anything else you want to run by me? I'm pretty over this conversation, man. I feel like we've been talking.
Yeah,
for
I
a
mean,
while.
I get it. Look, fundamentally speaking, that's the point I really disagree with you on is the Israel-Palestine conflict. I'd love to get a little bit more educated.
Wait, tell me what's wrong with my position. Innocent people dying is bad. The IDF is killing innocent people. I want the IDF to be out of here, and I want the people of Palestine to stop dying. Like, in a nutshell, that's it. What's wrong?
Innocent Israelis are dying as well, right? I just think it's better if you don't specifically say innocent Palestinians. Innocent people are dying. The war should stop.
I'm so sorry. Can you at least so innocent people are dying, conflict should stop. So I just want to ask you a question. Does Palestine have a plan backed by a country with a GDP worth $29 trillion to annex the remainder of Israel, ethnically cleanse all Israelis to Egypt and Jordan? No, they don't. No, they don't. Like, can you condemn Trump Gaza?
Can I Trump Gaza being...
The fact that he wants to ethnically cleanse all 2.1 million Palestinians living on the Gaza Strip?
I can condemn that.
Okay, why is that not a red line?
Why is that not a red line?
No. Like the lesser of two evils, the worst of two evils insofar as ethnic cleansing to Palestinians as being committed on the basis of your own hand.
First off, let me just be blanket here. The treatment of Palestinians before the war was horrible, unethical, not humanitarian at all. Disgusting, right? They were overcrowded in this impoverished location at the outskirts of Israel. Bad, right? But they initiated the conflict, so they're not just innocent people. There are individuals who are killing innocent civilians in Israel.
Bro, to say that Hamas initiated conflict on October 7th is just like the worst fucking view I've ever heard. Wasn't there like active occupation of what was it, the West Bank or the Gaza Strip, in 2018? Is occupation conflict?
Hamas not constantly.
No, you're not going to answer my question.
It's if you want to use double standard, I'm just going to bring up. Double
this
standard.
isn't a double fucking standard. This is me disputing your view, Daniel. Get the fuck out of here. I'm done with you. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Sorry, we're done with Daniel. I was being so kind to him because honestly, I'm not in a terrible mood and I'm just kind of chilling. So I was going back and forth with him about what he thinks and why. Holy shit, he was just draining my life force like a fucking parasite. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest here. We'll probably just do one last guess. If not, we'll get off there. By the way, guys, I have very limited information on Israel and Palestine. A big reason for this is because 90% of my conversations are surrounding domestic issues, and I kind of base what I research based upon what people bring up to me. And I could admit I should do more research on Palestine, but I think what is funny is seemingly that guy knew or thought he knew a lot about Israel and Palestine, and I still genuinely do feel my view prevailed in that conversation, and I think that just kind of demonstrates how commonsensical it is to like defend the prevention of the deaths of innocent people. Yeah, it's a very commonsensical view that doesn't require, like much nuanced information or detail of like the historicity of conflict. Just because of how commonsensical it is to, deny war crimes, man. But I should do more research. I agree. Megan, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. I do appreciate you for the love. All right, you guys, honestly, at this point, I may just end the live for the day. I think that we've been on for a little over 4.5 hours now. And honestly, it's been like a pretty good day. I've enjoyed my time here. For the 6,000 people watching right now on TikTok, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You should all hit that follow button on your way out. I've been going live here like every day, and it's been a good time. It's been a very good time. For everybody watching over on YouTube, just know that I love you guys too. I appreciate the viewer base on each platform, and I will see you tomorrow for some more debates. And by the way, I can't wait for Parker to get back. Things have felt a little bit lonely without him here, so that'll be fun. I think he's going to be gone for another day or two. But anyways, love you guys. I'm going to go to end for the night. Everybody on TikTok, take care. And then for everybody watching over on YouTube, you know that I always like to say bye to you guys last. Love you so much. See you tomorrow, and have a good rest of your evening.